REBIRTH, Elemental Growth Guide to Integrating Psychedelics, Habits, Mindsets, Rituals, and Wisdoms to Become Your Highest Potential, by Ashley Michaud. The elemental growth approach is always about setting heart-centered intention and allowing positive growth to compound over time. Consult with your own professional team for health advice specific for your 3D situation. Thank you for reading this page and taking ownership of your life as you ascend and pave the way for others to do the same. I see you and appreciate that you are here. Obligatory disclaimer. This written and printed material is not the practice of medicine, nursing, or other professional healthcare services. This information does not constitute giving medical advice. Any interaction with this material or offerings by Elemental Growth does not form a doctor-patient relationship. This is intended to only be used by the reader as educational and informational material. Any content covered here within is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Do not disregard, delay, or procrastinate obtaining medical advice for any medical condition you may have. Immediately seek assistance of licensed and reputable healthcare professionals for any such conditions. This book, live streams, family group, and all networking related with elemental growth are provided for general information and marketing purposes only. If the reader of this material finds inspiration for activity from any participation with elemental growth, this involvement is to be used responsibly at one's own discretion. Precautions. Magic mushrooms are hallucinogenic, meaning they cause you to see, hear, and feel sensations that seem real, even if they are not. The effects of magic mushrooms are highly variable and influenced by environmental factors as well as the consumer's state of mind. This said, magic mushrooms have a long history of being associated with spiritual experiences and self-discovery. Magic mushrooms have been used for thousands of years for both spiritual and medicinal uses among indigenous people of America and Europe. Among other entheogens, sacred fungi naturally enable people to attain superior spiritual states, experience a sense of euphoria, connection, and a distorted sense of time. The psilocybin found in magic mushrooms is converted to psilocin in the body and is believed to influence serotonin levels in the gut and brain, leading to altered states and sometimes uncomfortable perceptions. The effects take 20 to 40 minutes to begin and can last up to 6.5 hours. A number of factors influence the effects of magic mushrooms, including dosage, age, weight, personality, emotional state, environment, and history of mental illness. Before undergoing any psychedelic experience, I encourage you to get your physical health in optimal condition. Consuming psychedelics in combination with alcohol or pharmaceutical drugs may increase your risk for a bad psychological and/or emotional trip. It is advised that those with serious mental illness, such as schizophrenia or bipolar disorder, should not ingest these substances due to the way they strongly amplify one's current state of mind and emotions. In contrast to pharmaceuticals, and so far as science can tell, psychedelics aren't considered addictive and they don't appear to cause organ damage or neurotoxicity. They can, however, cause adverse experiences, such as increased heart rate, blood pressure and breathing rate, headaches and transient psychological distress, dizziness, blurred vision, weakness, and tremors during the hours they are active. For some people, negative effects persist for days or weeks. Most psychedelics mimic the effects of serotonin, the mood regulator, and 5-HT2A receptors in the prefrontal cortex. This enables the transmission of signals between nerve cells and plays a role in learning and memory. Microdosing causes cortical functions to be more fluid, leading researchers to believe that psychedelics may help certain brain areas work in increasingly flexible and expansive ways. Social media has played a vital role in the growing visibility of microdosing, providing strategies for optimal results, minimized risks, and shared emotional support. And dedication. To all those times you didn't know how to show up for yourself or others, may you, here and now reading this page, forgive and release the past. May you allow a new story to be written for yourself. May all that is sacred and good find its way to you, now and forever. So it is. Opening prayer. I call upon the guardians of the north, east, south, and west, the divine masculine sun energy, the divine feminine moon energy, and all that is to guide me forward to my greatest well-being. I cast a circle of protective love surround me, ground my energy into earth. I connect to heaven. I ask my teachers, guardians, mentors, guides, all forces and realms seen and unseen to be present with me, assisting my integration and my manifestation of all experience, which is of divine nature. I release all that is no longer serving my highest good. I take 100% responsibility for my actions, and I am willing to fail and to learn. I invite wisdoms in the name of love here to guide my direction. I am receptive to all that is available to support me here. I welcome the easy delivery of this blessing. May this or something better come to me for the good of all. So it is. Thank you. Get the most of this guide. This book is an omen. We talk to your soul, nourish your cells, and connect your conscious and unconscious mind organically as you read. The truth is, nothing I share here is anything you don't already know on a cellular level. This guide is simply a reminder, an activation, and it is my deepest desire for you to integrate these principles into your daily life right away so that you can experience your best life, beginning now. Use this 100-page vessel as a guide. 1. Set an intention or read our opening prayer as you prepare to begin this guide. 2. Begin by reading cover to cover first. This will establish your understanding of what integration truly is and how to work with psychedelics. 3. When something resonates, take the time to do the activity. I promise you will get so much more from the experience of this if you honor yourself enough to do the work. 4. After that, you can utilize this book as a reference and get what you need, as you wish, to attune your personal integration. 5. Use it as your go-to reference for the top tools, habits, mindsets, and spiritual understandings you need to keep your highest vibration. 6. The more often you come back to this guide, the better you can assemble the momentum and energy required to create and enjoy the life you deserve. 7. In this book, you will not find a magic pill with an overnight solution, although let's not rule any possibility out. Let the integration begin. Introduction. Hello, my name is Ashley. I teach people how to integrate significant life experiences so they can live their highest potential. My work is to assist your focus on your self-work. Throughout this book, I help you synchronize your soul with Mama Nature so you can manifest magically. You've been wondering why I became a psychedelic professional even when I was terrified. So what was I going to do? Could I really talk about how psychedelics allowed me to heal myself when they are illegal in my country? Would people think I am an unfit mother, or worse, compare me to my parents and say things like, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, or she's just like her mother? But because I felt so much passion around psychedelics, I was driven by nature. Before, I jumped into things like business ventures head first, but then I was a new mom, alone with no partner. I didn't have much money, and these fearful thoughts were consuming me from the inside out. The truth is, psychedelics did change my life for the better, and I was more passionate about sharing nature's messages than I was about anything else. You see, I had convinced myself that the gift of motherhood was from Source for doing spiritual and medicine work. The moment I found out I was pregnant, I felt blessed. I knew I was on the right track, and for the first time in my life being rewarded for it, including transitional and beautiful moments like the all-natural home birth of my happy and healthy son. Crazy, right? Plant allies introduced themselves to me over 18 years ago, and today I share some of the information with you that I have learned along my own elemental growth journey. There were many mentors along my path who assisted me with challenges like, I want to help people by sharing nature's secret messages, but how can I do this when people are too busy to seem to care? For the answer to this specific question, I turned to Elise Parker, who helped me enroll in IIN, the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, and become a certified health coach. I also reached out to Ellen Fisher, an all-natural mom and influencer that encouraged me to share myself with the world, because that's what stories are for, to be shared. I would reach out to someone who has mastered getting people not to only listen, but care wholeheartedly about natural alternatives. When I was in nutrition school getting certified, I was inspired to keep reaching out to people who were influencing others to get happier and healthier naturally. I wrote Joe Rogan's team for a full year, Dr. Dan Engel's secretary for 3 years, and Evan Carmichael too. I've grown even more friendships just because I took consistent action to learn from others doing this work. Once I was fully certified as a coaching master with additional certifications in nutrition, hormone health, and Reiki, I felt confident in my skills. I was helping people, yes. I even published a book with the help from my teachers, but I still wasn't feeling fulfilled. Psychedelics were still my passion, and I was scared to talk about them. I decided to email MAPS, Multidisciplinary Association of Psychedelic Studies, to see how I can volunteer, and they sent me resources to Sociodelic and the Zendo Project. Then it happened. When I was doing the work and ready for my teacher, he appeared, Xander Fryer. Xander and his team specifically help coaches launch their business so they can leave their 9-to-5 and make a high impact. While I didn't have a 9-to-5, I did have this burning desire to make an impact in the psychedelic space, and I knew I was in the right place with the right team at the right time, so I never looked back for a minute. I launched Elemental Growth in 2017 and began integration coaching with recovering addicts to heal themselves through nutrition, but there was still a stuck piece in the puzzle. Today, with psychedelics still illegal in many parts of our world, our community of research provides us profound evidence of benefits with psychedelic use and is an integrative piece of our natural world medicine that we are fitting back onto the game board. When clients invest in integration coaching with me and my coaches, we confidently and courageously dive into suffering and guide our clients to make tools for their toolboxes to be self-sufficient in self-care. This includes providing resources relating to topics in many fields: science, spirituality, nutrition, legacy building. What makes our coaching environment at Elemental Growth unique is we create an integration process using nature to nurture and help you find your upgrades, inspirations, passions, and actions for changes in all areas of your life so you can learn to rebirth yourself. My relationship with and guidance obtained from my psychedelic experience are compiled here in an assimilation of research, experiences, tips, and tools for your discretional use to powerfully incorporate into your life as knowledge and practice. This compilation is intended to support your work with psychedelics, yoga, meditation, journaling, integration work, self-care, and so much more while in this body and on this planet. I encourage you to follow this manual not 100% and instead trust your own direct experience, follow your intuition, and above all, open yourself up to know your beautiful soul. This book can be used as a mentor. You have a gift that this world needs. You matter. You will never comprehend the depths of your potential. Everything you want is waiting for you. And may you find these tools immensely valuable for where you are along your life path. The truth is, this book is not enough. There is so much to learn and remember about our world, and it's up to you, me, all of us, to individually and collectively step up our game and be the best version of our calling to contribute. There are millions of people out there just like me and you that have outstanding potential to transform themselves and those around them. A transformation that ripples out to this world for the better. And it's going to take every single one of us to change the way things are right now. Change starts with us. I love to watch the ripple effect unfold. Sending you much love and positivity on your elemental growth journey. Ashley Michaud. Nature loves courage. You make the commitment and nature will respond to the commitment by removing impossible obstacles. Dream the impossible dream and the world will not grind you under. It will lift you up. This is the trick. This is what all these teachers and philosophers who really counted, who really touched the alchemical gold, this is what they understood. This is the shamanic dance in the waterfall. This is how magic is done. And by hurling yourself into the abyss and discovering it's a featherbed. Terence McKenna. Without further ado, let's dive right in. Chapter 1. The Essence of Rebirth. For decades, the Psychonaut mantra was set and setting, and that was all the Harvard Psychedelic Club was preaching around safety. Today, we know so much more. these ancient psychonauts knew more too. For instance, Dr. Andrew Weil moved into the integrative nutrition space, and Richard Alpert traveled to India and became a disciple of Hindu guru Neem Karoli Baba, who gave him the name Ram Dass. What really allowed me to develop this protocol was my experience working with freshly cultivated mushrooms. Psilocybin stem looks so much like an umbilical cord, like a tether to the planet. I knew in that first glimpse that psychedelics, specifically mushrooms, were our connection to Mama Nature and the collective consciousness. Psychedelic integration is a lot like the birthing process, and in these opening pages and throughout our time together, I am going to walk you step by step through what we call rebirth. Conception. This is the point where you decide to work with psychedelics. In my practice, this is when I help people to know if they are ready for a psychedelic experience and provide them a resource or research specific to them. I help people tune into their intuition while they experience peace and decisiveness to proceed into a next phase, the pregnancy phase. Pregnancy. Every expecting parent knows books like What to Expect When You're Expecting, because it was recommended to us to help prepare us for each phase of pregnancy and the upcoming infant years. I was gifted this book too, never read it, and absorbed enough of it to know that preparation is important. I enjoyed books like Hypnobirthing, Childbirth Across Cultures, and doula books. Reading biographies like Homegrown and Squirting Milk at Chameleons truly made the pregnancy phase enjoyable. Rebirth Day. In one famous psilocybin study at Johns Hopkins, participant data gathered says 67% of participants rated psilocybin among the top 5 most meaningful experiences of their lifetime. Psychedelics have the same proactive nature to get the nest ready and uncomfortable qualities like body changes as a pregnancy. You see, pregnancy provides us generally 9 months to prepare. I always recommend planning a sacred ceremony like a sacred garden, preparing an atmosphere, set and setting. We'll get into this throughout the book, and a self-ego surrendering initiation to your dose, like caring for another life coming from your spell or affirmation and manifestation. We'll get into this through the book too. Birthing process is on average 6 hours. The more intense the birthing, the more time you need for integration and healing. On average, I would say 1 to 3 years can be an integration period for an intense trip, 6 months for an uneventful trip, 7 years for cell rejuvenation, or the next stage of life and growing in relationship, community, and independent life events. From my experience, pregnancy with my son and our all-natural home birth event, one Friday the 13th, was in itself a psychedelic trip. Expecting parents are almost always thinking ahead to the birth and infant stage, even some elders thinking farther ahead to the toddler stage and college age. Just as psychonauts always think about the adventure of the trip. There is so much more that comes before, like preparing for conception and relating to ease in an experience, and even more preparing and attention comes after, including learning, teaching, and celebrating responsibility for one's life. Celebrate rebirth days. First step, getting in the mood, setting intentions, set your space, smudge your space, and do anything to be done first for you to be fully present without distractions for a celebration. When you're ready, you can consume and celebrate your dose. Some people consume a little at a time. I don't recommend that. In my mind, once you have made a decision, go all in. It's never easy to surrender, but when you diddle the dose or are indecisive, you may not receive all you can out of your experience. Don't diddle the dose. Once you have done your homework, go for it. Terence McKenna. Second step, surrender. This is especially hard for trauma victims who are often the ones called to work with these medicines for healing complex PTSD, addiction, and grief. Even 18 years into my psilocybin journey, I am still learning more about surrendering control. What helps me during ceremony is meditation and Kundalini yoga. Moving my body helps me release control, to surrender and relax and observe the forces much higher than myself. In doing this, I am also opening myself to receptivity for clear and conscious downloads from my experience. Early years. When life is seen through the eyes of a baby, it must be some psychedelic trip. Time, visuals, all the other senses brand new and heightened beyond belief. Mystical type experiences induced by psychedelics like psilocybin facilitate a closer connection to our personal meaning and spiritual significance, allowing us a sensory awareness even up to 14 months later. During this early year stage, I teach my clients how to nurse from nature. We go into this more in the protocol of my book, Be the Change, where we carry through a year of transformation using nature's cyclical cycles with the moon, sun, and seasons to manifest the changes you want to see in yourself. The first 7 years are so important for children and our own parental rebirth to responsibility too. Greek philosopher Aristotle said wisely, "Give me a child until he is 7, and I will show you the man." Another important factor that comes into play during the early years is testing independence. It's in these early years that children begin to learn everything they will need to know to find their tribe for the next phase in the teen years. Teen years. There is honestly no stronger power in the world than a freedom-seeking teenager. After a psychedelic journey, people often feel liberated and can see more clearly that which is holding them back from connecting with themselves fully. Some of these teen years are the definition of liberation. More teenagers could be singing in the streets these days. Maybe technology is distracting some of this independence right now. These teen years are opportunity to really master energy, define identity, and express full independence in the wild and free years. Like the teen years, a psychonaut will go through these phases once again. Sometimes it's a chance to reparent ourselves. Other times it's an opportunity to stand up, speak up, and revolutionize culture. Elder years. When the powers of teen fade into responsibility as an adult, wealth and legacy really come into play. The Toltecs taught us the path to freedom is taking 100% responsibility. In the early years and as teens, we get into the habit of blaming other people, lying, playing victim, and making excuses for why we are not doing our best. It's part of the process. As an adult, we learn to take responsibility, which later is rewarded with flow. Once you are face to face with fears and limiting beliefs from your self-foundation, built in the early and teen years, that kept you from being fully present in your relationships, you now have an opportunity to put names to these challenges. After naming these feelings, you become better at recognizing feelings and when you feel uncomfortable. You begin setting healthy boundaries in your existing relationships. You begin to notice where you became so much of your current self through others' opinions and habits themselves that you mimicked from an infant or to fit in with your original tribe. Becoming your potential you helps you attract a tribe of community. If you were like a black sheep in your family and longed for this as a child, just how, as a teen, you were likely building relationships and values by proxy to all those around you, including friends, teachers, parents, siblings, etc. Here in the elder years, we are reparented and we begin to share our wisdom. Elders are here to help us get clarity to find our purpose, define a clear path, and experience true happiness as we change the world together. Why is it essential to rebirth? Essential rebirth. I started my journey to recovery when I was 25 years old. Before that, substance abuse, mental health imbalances, and the sad standard American diet was all I knew. The influences I had growing up rippled into my career and lifestyle. My college experience as a hospitality and tourism student landed for me many jobs in the industry. This meant a decade of the work hard, play harder routine. I am so grateful to be free of many unhealthy addictions I adopted at a young age. Alcohol, cigarettes, porn, consumerism, scrolling. I feel like each of these addictions led to my suffering and had to be repatterned for my habits to serve me in dynamic ways. Today, I truly honor my body for my healing abilities and my inner knowing for rising to the occasion. It's liberating to claim my power back and I discover a flow state with a lot of help from Mama Nature. I know what it's like to have a family who didn't believe in me, who project negativity and fear in times when I was working hard at my personal healing and recovery. I know what it's like to want to please everyone and to hold the weight of shame, guilt, and resentment. As a person with an addictive personality, I will admit it is common to misuse a substance or engage in behaviors with seemingly rewarding effects, even when I'm surrounded with positive influence and support. Addictive behaviors involve brain pathways of reward, reinforcement, and the neurotransmitter dopamine. It is important to know that brain pathways are changeable. Think of your brain like an overgrown meadow you're born with. As a child, your family members create many pathways in the meadow. As you get older, some paths grow over while others become trails. The trails you rely on most often become roads and even highways. Anytime a road is unused, nature will take it over. And anytime you choose to forge, you create a path, a new path of your own. The problem is we forget that we have a choice. A bigger problem is giving our power away because we feel like it takes less of our energy to make change. The complexities of addiction. Addiction is a complex condition, a brain disease manifested by obsessive and compulsive behavior with harmful consequence. Addictive behaviors are often accompanied by mental health conditions such as depression and anxiety, or other pre-existing problems. All addictions have the capacity to induce a victim mindset and feelings of failure, shame, and guilt. People with severe addiction have distorted thinking, behavior, and body functioning. These changes in the brain's wiring are what cause intense cravings and make it harder to stop. Many substances cause harmful changes in how the brain functions, and these changes can last long after the immediate effects of the substance. For twofold examples, the dopamine hit associated with glucose fructose will release intense pleasure and cause inflammation. Coffee will release energy and cause nervousness. Smoking creates a sense of peace and causes problems of the immune system. Alcohol boosts our confidence and causes mental health issues. Common causes of addiction include development of drug tolerance, genetics, mindset, habits, environment, adverse childhood experiences, and, as we discussed, mental health imbalances. The good news is everything has an opposite. The opposite of big is small, the opposite of fear is excitement, the opposite of yes is no, and the opposite of addiction is flow. Flow is a psychological construct, a state of optimal experience characterized by intensive concentration and a feeling sense of expertise. Flow fractal characteristics of addictive behavior. The 9 characteristics of flow are balance between challenges and skills, clear goals, immediate feedback, intense concentration, merging of action and awareness, loss of self-consciousness, a sense of control, time distortion, experiencing a sense of reward. Accessing flow reduces psychological problems associated with different states of minds like stress, anxiety, boredom, etc. Turning your addiction into flow can help to switch your mind from stress to bliss while also avoiding negative consequences. Reward is important in the beginning of an addiction cycle, but the response to reward is reduced as the disorder continues. However, as we begin turning addiction into positive flow states, the rewards become greater with every challenge we face. The general idea most recovery specialists suggest is to ride out the wave of intense desire to our addiction. But if you have never taken a surfing lesson, you will likely feel more defeated with each wave. How well you ride matters. If you go into it like an addict, craving more flow, you're not going to be able to recover enough to actually get the flow you desire. It's critical to know how to navigate the tide, how to deal with emotions and thoughts as they arise. Sustainable recovery requires emotional control and the ability to delay gratification, and it's not easy. With proper mindfulness tools, anyone can use this addiction to enter a healthy flow state. Growing evidence suggests mindfulness can counter the dopamine flood from addictive behaviors. Mindfulness trains people to pay attention to desire without reacting. Mindfulness encourages people to notice why they feel pulled to indulge. Meditation is one mindfulness tool. Meditation quiets the neural space involved in rumination. There is so much power in being mindful. There is so much power in meditating. The cycle we want to be most mindful of is cue, routine, and reward. When we understand cue and routine, we hack the reward. The reward comes from the nucleus accumbens, which releases dopamine, the brain's principal reward drug. This reinforcement locks habits into place. This cycle is how we enter flow. The 7 flow conditions are 1. Knowing what to do. 2. Knowing how to do it. 3. Knowing how well you are doing. 4. Knowing where to go. 5. High perceived challenges. 6. High perceived skills. 7. Freedom from distractions. Some of the challenges staying in flow include the same states that lead us to our addiction: apathy, boredom, and anxiety. Flow states require 3 conditions. First, one must be involved in an activity with a clear set of goals and progress. Second, the task at hand must have clear and immediate feedback. Third, one must have confidence in one's own ability to complete the task at hand. Flow has been linked to persistence and achievement in activities, while also helping to lower anxiety during various activities and raise self-esteem. Flow is known to produce intense feelings of enjoyment. It's a healthy way to experience a life with enhanced happiness in the long run. People who have experienced flow describe the following feelings: completely involved in what we are doing, focused, concentrated, a sense of ecstasy, of being outside everyday reality, great inner clarity, knowing what needs done and how well we are doing, knowing that the activity is doable, that our skills are adequate to the task, a sense of security, a sense of serenity, no worries about oneself, with a feeling of growing beyond the boundaries of the ego, timelessness, thoroughly focused on the present. Hours seem to pass by the minute. Intrinsic motivation, whatever produces flow becomes its own reward. I enjoy helping people turn their addictive behaviors into healthy flow states. I teach you what I learned so you can explore plants, fungi, and nature yourself. In my work, I place a strong focus on the integration of indigenous psychedelic medicines for mental health. Chapter 2. Deciding to conceive. Know your why. How I started my why? I began life off a mess, using sex, ecstasy, alcohol, and cocaine to cover up pain rooted in childhood abuse. I was taught to hold things in and to stuff what I wanted to talk about because it didn't matter. I was shown that drinking, putting on a mask, and consuming sad foods were my only options for consuming material in life. Then I had my first dose of psychedelic mushrooms. A reality check. I realized just how oppressed every culture is. I learned that there are real villains that walk this earth. Also that we harness real superhuman powers to look inward for illumination and to shine our light in our shadow work through our door to rejuvenation. I moved out of my mom's house at 14 years old, was kicked out of high school shortly after, and had a few rough years learning the hard way about the world around me and who I was. At 20, I began experiencing hormonal issues, but continued my thoughtless lifestyle. This was around the time I enrolled into college as a hospitality and tourism student. My stress was building. I was burning a candle at both ends. Student loans, long work hours, late nights, early mornings, and heavy partying were definitely some triggers to exacerbate any physical issues I was experiencing. I had believed college was a wise decision and hadn't realized the length of time and energy I would consume from my energy to pay off those loans. I hadn't considered the toll I was paying for even the longer length of time and energy I would need to harness to heal my mind and body. There was a price to pay for this party phase of my life. After a few semesters, I began to travel Canada. I was accumulating new life experiences along the way. One day, I was in Western Canada looking at the blue water and hearing waves crash the shoreline of the Pacific Ocean. I was feeling relaxed, and I could hear my inner voice of strength say, "It's time to get sober." I knew at that moment, for me to do this, I had to go home to the roots of where my trauma started. I did get sober shortly after my return. I cleaned up my diet and truly started healing my roots. I created a timeline of my life. I said goodbye to friends, family, items, and thoughts that did nothing good for me. I committed my energy to focus for 2 hours of Kundalini Yoga DVDs by Maya Finesse every day. This is thankfully a ritual that has become automatic when using mushrooms at any dose. I started practicing Kundalini Yoga when I first made the commitment to my health and happiness in 2014. There were 7 DVDs, one for each chakra, day of the week. When I quit alcohol and smoking cigarettes in 2015, I thought it best to double up. I was practicing 1 hour of Kundalini Yoga in the morning and 1 hour before bed. I experienced a Kundalini awakening during this time. It was this natural release of DMT from my lungs and pineal gland, the relaxation after strenuous fitness, both mentally and physically. Divine loving energy was moving through my entire body. It sounds amazing, and none of this was easy, but I did have a personal guide along the way, magic mushrooms. Working with mystical doses of naturally growing fungi allowed me to activate the natural healing potential I already had within myself. I was meditating deeply. I was noticing and cleaning up my nutrition habits, and my addiction of incorporating mushrooms in my diet truly assisted me in making connections. I began having new experiences guide me back to purpose, presence, and passion for life. In beginning to know my why, I was looking at my food in a new light, thinking about life force energy. I became aware of full aspects of my being, physically, mentally, and spiritually. To help you get started knowing your why, I provide 3 steps on the next page. 3 elemental practice steps to know your why. 1. Write an ongoing list of all the things you hate and title it Things I Will No Longer Tolerate, and beside it, a list titled Things I Love. Refine this list every 3 months, or 13 weeks, as the seasons change. You will understand more about you and where you can set boundaries and non-negotiables for your self-care. 2. Take action by recognizing your feelings as they come up, and then begin eliminating the things that make you feel like beep. The full moon is a great time to perform release rituals. You can do things like take a moon bath, infuse herbs or water with the moonlight, have a meditative shower, go swimming in a lake or ocean, walk or dance in the moonlight, even have a good cry. Cleaning, burning, and donating are also great rituals. As your release ritual comes to an end, you will naturally receive all the good coming your way. 3. Reward yourself with new habits that align with who you are and where you want to be. Your dreams are only possible when you believe. Your beliefs expand when you see it's all happening. So reward yourself with a positive reward. The new moon is a great time to ask for blessings, as well as the charmed life you've always imagined. This is the best time to get clear about what you want to manifest and the action steps to actually receive that which you desire. It's beneficial to practice your gratitude and patience along the way. Putting a strong focus on these practices will help you manage mental saboteurs like fear, doubt, and anxiety around the future. Research has also shown that psilocybin can be used to enhance one's spiritual practice. In a recent study, 75 participants engaged in a 6-month spiritual course involving meditation, awareness, and self-reflection. During the course, participants were given either a low or high dose of psilocybin. At the end of the 6 months, the participants given the high dose of psilocybin showed significantly greater improvements in measures of spirituality, such as interpersonal closeness, life meaning, death transcendence, and forgiveness. With this all in mind, many people believe psilocybin and other psychedelics could be a key component of self-improvement and self-optimization. By occasioning the experiences of feeling connected to the universe and confronting the deepest part of yourself, many believe psilocybin can help you take the necessary steps to become the best version of yourself you can be. I personally believe psilocybin and other sacred plant medicines are here to help us navigate the challenges we face today. I noticed how I became nourished more by what I was now consuming. I became self-aware to ask myself questions when I felt out of alignment, like, why am I consuming this? I began to see clearly my greater abundance of choice. I started collecting and naming my ants, automatic negative thoughts, and developing my affirmations to release fear, false evidence appearing real, every day, so I can fill my mind with better content. Here is a tangible example. I develop affirmations through a process we call the Trinity text. It's a text my clients send me every morning. You can do this too. Just get a journal and track your ants, gratitudes, and action steps for the day. As you check in with yourself, you will uncover the affirmations that you are already using, as well as gain clarity around creating affirmations that will best serve you each day. Like, I am so happy and grateful I am respected. I am respecting my body, my mind, my spirit. People are looking to me for guidance. My body is my vessel to work here on this planet and do all the things I am here to do. I am treated and treasured. I am receiving love. More about knowing your why. Did you know that 70% of plants with anti-cancer properties exist only in the Amazon rainforest? Or that the Amazon rainforest produces more than 20% of the world's oxygen, 20% of the world's fresh water, and contains and nourishes our largest collection of medicinal plants for our planet? The Amazon rainforest is our most abundant source of natural medicine. It's the planet's greenhouse with more than 80,000 plant species. The medicinal properties of plants found within have been used for centuries by Amazonian tribes to cure all sorts of ailments. In fact, around 25% of all drugs used today have been derived from rainforest plants. Below, you will learn about just 10 of the 150,000 discovered species of plants found in the rainforest and their scientifically proven benefits. Cacao, chocolate. All chocolate comes from the cacao tree, but most of what we consume is cut with dairy, sugar, and preservatives, leaving it a dead food that can actually make us sick. The real and raw cacao, however, has many benefits and is said to be the #1 superfood for our brain, according to many expert studies. Coca leaves. Coca is associated with the dangerous street drug cocaine. However, coca is actually a medicinal plant that has been used by indigenous South America for thousands of years. Coca is used to boost energy and relieve pain, nausea, breathlessness, upset stomach, and altitude sickness. Coca leaf is also a nutrient powerhouse. It's packed with essential minerals, calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus, vitamins A, B1, B2, B6, C, and E, and contains important nutrients such as fiber and protein. Brazilian ginseng, suma. Ginseng is an adaptogen, aphrodisiac, healing tonic, energy booster, and immune system enhancer. It also has anti-cancer properties. Test tube studies indicate that possible anti-tumor activity of suma constituents called pathicides. Tewari tree bark. The tewari tree bark has multiple anti-cancer properties with treating infection, cancerous cells, tumors, and inflammation. In Western medicine, it is primarily used as an anti-inflammatory, fungicide, and antibacterial agent. It is also used as a laxative and to stimulate the immune system. Soto, Iboga. The sodo plant or iboga shrub can be used to cure addiction of nicotine and alcohol. It is another natural medicine helping curb today's opioid crisis. Iboga is proving in one single dose for some a cure for severe heroin addiction. Some countries like New Zealand and Canada have recently begun to legislate therapeutic uses, and MAPS, Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies, has success introducing clinical trials in other countries. Pusangade Matello. This medicinal plant is used to treat anxiety, calm the nervous system, and is a good alternative to mass-produced psychotropic medications, and used alternatively for depression and anxiety meds. Users claim it makes them feel happy. Kambo, giant monkey frog wax. Shamans carefully scrape waxy secretions from a frog onto wooden sticks, leaving them to dry. The frogs are then released back into the rainforest, said to be stressed but unharmed. The wax is a purgative, immunity-boosting medicine considered to be the vaccine of the forest. The properties of Kambo peptides are used to treat depression, migraines, blood circulation problems, Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease, vascular insufficiency, organ diseases, cancer, fertility problems, deeply rooted toxins, chronic pain, fever and infections, negative energies, traditionally known as panema. Kambo is also used for alleviating addiction to opiate or painkillers and the physical pain associated. Psilocybe cubensis, commonly called shrooms, magic mushrooms, golden tops, cubes, or golden caps. Psilocybe cubensis is a species of psychedelic mushroom whose principal active compounds are psilocybin and psilocin. Psilocybe cubensis proves to provide tremendous healing effects, both mental as well as spiritual, psychological, and emotional. Some benefits include, but are not limited to, brain cell growth, increased creativity, less anxiety, decreased need for caffeine, and reduced depression. Ayahuasca. Ayahuasca is actually a combination of two plants, a vine, Banisteriopsis caapi, and a shrub called chacaruna, Psychotria viridis. Scientists have uncovered several long-term health benefits from ingesting ayahuasca, like brain and memory boosting, beneficial psychological shifts, treatment for OCD, addiction, anxiety, depression, and PTSD. Maca root. Maca has been cultivated as a vegetable crop in South America for at least 3,000 years. Maca root has traditionally been used to enhance fertility, sex drive, improve energy and stamina. Society overwhelmed by mindset, habit, and addiction. Sugar is 8 times more addictive than heroin, more addictive than gaming, social media, and Netflix too. Yet our medical advisors are diagnosing our totally normal reaction to societal pressures and beep food as an illness. In this, the dominating forces get you addicted to inferior substances and fear for the rest of your life. The average American takes 11 prescription drugs each year, each with its own set of side effects, while solutions are found in nature. Whole foods heal. They strengthen us from the inside out and will naturally reduce the need for medical intervention down the line. If you add toxic ingredients such as prescription drugs, alcohol, caffeine, and processed sugar to your diet, you'll have a recipe for an imbalanced body. An unbalanced diet can lead to poor digestion, inflammation, pain, mood swings, brain fog, inability to focus and make decisions, and low energy. Processed foods are designed to make consumers crave them. In fact, the food industry created what has been described as the bliss point, the perfect combination of sugar, salt, and fat that makes processed food difficult to resist. Often this combination is created mathematically to appeal to most people. I also want to bring attention to fake fads like low-carb diets. Our body requires fiber found in whole foods. Whole grains have been a central element of the human diet since early civilization. It's estimated that humans were eating grains as far back as 105,000 years ago. If low-carb diets make you fat, Asia would be full of obese people, and if a diet high in protein makes people fit, we would see more fit people in North America. Today, a person's daily existence can be troubling to the point of numbness. We are anxious, depressed, lonely, and addicted. The pharmaceutical industry is worth annually a minimum of $400 billion because they are making out for themselves and their industry, but keeping people dependent to living lower quality lives much longer than ever before in history. Most of the time, pharmaceuticals treat these symptoms, but are for many creating more problems because of the side effects and the decreased efficacy after long-term use. The drugs are known to cause well over 125,000 deaths per year in the United States, even when taken correctly as prescribed. The SAD diet still outweighs people on a natural food diet in this 21st century. Many foods, even in a natural food store, may not be 100% natural. This is why it is important to learn how to read your nutrition labels. Western medicine today is instructing patients to carry on with indulging, consuming, and when you get sick, come see me and I will give you a magic pill, radiation, or a referral, because I don't know what it is I'm seeing in compared to your description of what you are feeling. There are many tests we can do to rule things out that I do know or remember from school. I have so many patients and we've got 15 minutes here. That's beyond my license. Here, let me refer you to a specialist. You have insurance, right? And plenty of time to focus your health into the system? As you've heard me say, the ripple effect. We have surgeons and other treatments that can take poor care of us better than we can take care of ourselves, unless we choose to care for ourselves. As we care for ourselves, we set an example for others to care for themselves, and this can extend to their caring for others. When we care for ourselves, we care for our environment, we care for our animals, we care for our planet. The reasons for this national health crisis are complex. This can include a sedentary lifestyle with large portions of processed foods, high in sugar and fat, that exceed caloric needs for our body and can burden and tax our system. People are fed by the food industry, which pays no attention to health, and are treated by the health industry, which pays no attention to food. Wendell Berry. Food-like processed products are a problem. Cancer, obesity, mental health, addiction are all rooted in global industrial disease. The plastics, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, and GMOs in our food and water, the list goes on. Statistics say nearly 30% of the world's population are obese. Even more are diagnosed with other preventable disease. Yet only 3% of our healthcare dollars are spent on disease prevention. However, we are each responsible for our lifestyle. More fun facts. 1 in 3 American adults have high blood pressure. Preventable. 70% of deaths are caused by chronic conditions each year. Preventable. Less than 20% of physical doctor visits include any nutrition counseling. When you change your food, everything else changes. When we consider the amount of people dying from mental health issues being doubled in the last 10 years, CDC estimates that 115 people die from opioid overdoses every day in the United States, while psychedelics are showing an 80% success rate in treating some of the most difficult mental health disorders currently plaguing North America. It becomes clear that these native plants do indeed contain medicinal superpowers. It was in the 1950s when LSD was born. 70 years ago, psychedelics were hailed as the new tools of psychiatry. The Timothy Leary era blew up, inspired the Harvard Psychedelic Club in the 1960s. This club included Timothy Leary, Ram Dass, Huston Smith, and Dr. Andrew Weil. Next came Terence and Dennis McKenna, the brothers who brought us back to the Amazon rainforest in the 1970s. They remind us the war on drugs has been only minimally effective at tackling recreational use, but has been extremely damaging for any genuine medical research. Since the awakening of the 60s, there has continued to be an underground society working to figure out the many possible therapeutic and conscious expanding properties of psychedelics. The evidence so far suggests anxiety. Neurotic disorders tend to do well with psychedelics. This means anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, and obsessive-compulsive disorder could all be healed naturally and sustainably in as little as 4 hours. This is because these drugs are particularly good for allowing the user to access otherwise repressed and painful memories and do some meaningful psychotherapeutic work during a psilocybin ceremony. Subscribers in Silicon Valley have spoken of microdosing magic mushrooms and LSD, possibly holding therapeutic events for cluster headaches and addictions, among other benefits. Most participants found the remarkable characteristics of how use of ayahuasca could modify self-destructive behaviors, such as heavy drug abuse. The studies have confirmed changes in brain electrical activity and blood flow consistent with these claims, and now holistic health teams globally plan to assess the effect on long-term psychedelic users. As our view of the human mind and nervous system expands, it is being recognized that different mind-body states, different from our waking state, are also useful. As a species, we crave the need to experience different states of mind. In fact, we tap into it hormonally each night as we dream, and we actually experience the largest dose of naturally occurring DMT right before we die. These altered states are linked with enhanced well-being and flow states. After decades being spent banished, psychedelics are determinedly making their way back into mainstream culture. This is changing the course of our evolution and focuses us to take a better look at medical research currently done on the body, mind, and human spirit. Modern research into psychedelics only restarted in 2011. As of 2017, there were at least 5 early clinical studies on LSD and 5 on psilocybin. The FDA also approved a phase 3 trial on using MDMA to treat PTSD and around a dozen other mental health studies. Psychedelic events are being established too. With people's addictions to sugar, negative thinking, and chemical dependency, information and celebratory psychedelic dinners and health retreats are happening across the world and internet. People are sharing their deeply introspective and emotional experiences. The global market for mental health medications was worth $88.3 billion in 2015. I personally am excited for when I see this money go to better use, saving the Amazon rainforest. Similar to the cannabis industry, psychedelics and medicinal mushrooms will continue to drive education, regulation, safety, investment, research, and development in a positive direction. Humans have used psychoactive plants as medicine since the dawn of civilization. Ancient records and oral traditions detail the use of peyote cacti and cannabis plants for treating inflammation, promoting wound healing, and easing pain. The serendipitous discoveries arising from this renaissance of psychedelic research is showing that psychedelics could someday be medically recognized natural alternatives to anti-inflammatory and antidepressant medications, with the potential to change a patient's perception, cognition, mood, and more naturally. Today, a person's daily existence can be troubling to the point of numbness. We are anxious, depressed, lonely, and addicted. Pharmaceuticals treat these symptoms, but for many create more problems because of their side effects and decreased efficacy after long-term use. Psychedelics like MDMA, psilocybin, ibogaine, mescaline, and ayahuasca are still treating the root of our health issues. I am so grateful psychedelics are becoming a hot topic, with outlets from the Wall Street Journal to PubMed covering the psychedelic revolution. Medicalization is just one path for psychedelics to enter the mainstream. As scientific research grows, it continues to help unite and empower psychedelic communities worldwide. There are also dozens of projects studying ayahuasca, ibogaine, salvia divinorum, LSD, ketamine, and other psychoactive substances. There are over 50 psychedelic groups and societies spanning the globe. Art, music, film, and television are also serving the rebirth of psychedelic culture. With cannabis becoming decriminalized in 2018, all the recent psychedelic research is proving the healing potentials of psychedelic drugs and the relaxing laws relating to them. Seasoned psychonauts like myself continue to come out of the psychedelic closet to contribute and participate in correcting the stigma about psychedelics that has oppressed us for the last 50 years. Research into psychedelic drugs came to a halt in the 1970s due to the U.S. government's war on drugs, but thankfully, today, some schools have launched efforts into psychedelic research. Private donors even provided $17 million to Johns Hopkins University to start the Center for Psychedelic and Conscious Research. The research is miraculous. Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine found that under a controlled and specific environment, providing psilocybin to smokers lead to an 80% abstinence rate. The Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies, MAPS, studies MDMA, the main ingredient used in ecstasy and Molly, to treat PTSD. The U.S. Natural Library of Medicine found that a dosage of 3.2 grams of psilocybin was found to have the highest increase of well-being for cancer patients. Rolling Stone magazine wrote that in the corporate environment, microdosing psychedelics have been reported by workers as a common way to reduce migraines, depression, and chronic fatigue while increasing productivity, focus, and creativity. Additional studies have confirmed the capacity of psychedelics to modulate processes that perpetuate chronic low-grade inflammation and thus exert significant therapeutic effects in a diverse array of preclinical disease models, including asthma, arteriosclerosis, inflammatory bowel, and retinal disease. Researchers are exploring ibogaine as a treatment for opioid addiction. MAPS is beginning clinical trials of smoked marijuana for treatment of PTSD in U.S. veterans. Numerous clinical trials and exploratory treatment methodologies using psychedelics to address PTSD, alcoholism, and depression, among others, are happening globally. How to know. The day I made the decision to quit drinking, I was listening to the Joe Rogan Experience, JRE podcast. I remember how empowered I felt making a decision to get sober. Although the feeling of bliss lasted for just a brief moment, suddenly my fear took over. Fear was telling me that I was going to fail at this trying again. This was who I was, and I was not the observer. I thought I was drifting while listening to myself I did the anyway. A bold statement, decision, and choice. I set the goal to quit drinking alcohol at that moment. I had been bartering with my landlord to build patio stones as a trade for living. Continuing to work in the hospitality and tourism industry would be a disaster for me if I had any chance of getting sober. Thank you, God, for this supportive time, support, shelter, and service I needed to make my life happen more easily with my commitments and for this amazing landlord. I had just moved from British Columbia to Ontario. I remember there was a case of Kilkenny beer in the fridge. Once the patio steps were complete, I grabbed one to celebrate a job well done, sat on the new steps and cracked the can open with my feet up to relax. I am a monkey with my fabulous yoga practice. I had one sip, and before swallowing, I caught myself and was surprised to remember my commitment. I made a decision to quit drinking. This is why I came here. I questioned, what the am I doing? I was in over my head, but I had this drive to be a winner. To win this game I was playing with my addiction to alcohol. So I upped my game. I started working my body beyond my already doing of 2 hours of Kundalini yoga. I began adding better habits. I started doing HIIT workouts and running laps around my neighborhood. I began eating healthier foods and drinking more clean water to hydrate my muscles. The most influential thing to keep me sober was the lectures I was finding online. I listened to Terence McKenna and psilocybin mushrooms one special afternoon. He spoke a lot about the heroic dose, 5 grams of dried psilocybin mushrooms. Seeing as I had already experimented with magic mushrooms several times at parties, I challenged myself to do this heroic dose in a sacred setting with intention during a 24-hour fast. Did you know it takes about 3 weeks to rehydrate your brain after a night of heavy partying? I took my dose in the form of tea with cannabis. As the mushrooms started to work, I felt like a fungus and kind of queasy, so I lit up a pre-rolled joint and walked barefoot towards the beach. When I reached my sandy destination, I sat there, then laid there. When I closed my eyes, I saw tunnels swirling through my mind. I held myself from exploring them further. which was okay. The mushrooms were quite entertaining in their own way. A short while later, I slowly stood up and walked through the forest trail back home. That night, I received many downloads, including a new understanding of the fractal effect. I learned what family karma was and that my victim mindset was not going to serve me in the future. I felt a sense of forgiveness pouring out of my heart and into the places within myself love needed to go. I felt free and connected in a way indescribable by words. About 4 hours later, I found myself on my couch, ready for bed and inspired to be the change I wished to manifest. While I did continue to practice with Terence McKenna's heroic dose, this trip alone empowered me to maintain my sobriety, reconsider my self-worth, and create new beliefs that were overdue for updating old ones. I also was inspired to follow in the McKenna brothers' footsteps and plan a trip to Colombia, South America. Heroic dose. Hold on to your seats, it's one intense trip. Terence McKenna liberated his audiences with tales of doing what he called a heroic dose, 5 grams of dried psilocybin mushrooms. I have been on this journey many times myself, but my greatest trip to date was following in his footsteps into South America. While I never arrived at the Colombian village of La Chorrera, what I learned from the people and experience has changed my life forever. The great psychonauts, someone who uses psychedelics to reach a higher level of consciousness and spiritual fulfillment, like Terence and Dennis McKenna, Paul Stamets, and Joe Rogan, describe a heroic dose as consuming 5 plus dried grams, 15 to 20 grams if they are fresh, of psilocybin mushrooms in silent darkness alone. The trip lasts about 4 to 6 hours and takes you on a hero's journey. Referenced from Joseph Campbell's book, The Hero with 1,000 Faces. Some people's biggest fear is just the thought of being alone in darkness with solely your thoughts and a psychedelic substance. I enjoy these sacred journeys, and I am by no means a stranger to consuming a heroic dose in an attempt to better understand my body, purpose, and soul. The reality is, if you truly want to make a change in your life, the first step is to step outside your personal comfort zone and challenge yourself to know your capabilities. Today, I have the honor of holding a safe place for many others to become the hero of their own story. I was coaching 25 entrepreneurs to make money from their passion-based business in a 3-day boot camp. On the last day, my stepdad pulled out 10 grams of dried psilocybin and said, "It's time you try this." My first thought was, I am far too stimulated and tired for this. My second thought was, maybe this is a good thing. I am ready for a change and Finn is with my family. So we ate the mushrooms at about 6 o'clock p.m., followed by tea and a rolled joint. How to decide. Psychonaut. One who explores altered states of consciousness through mind and soul manifesting. One who studies and experiences the subconscious through use of psychedelics. Psychedelics come in many forms, doses, and parts of the world. There are at least 144 types of psychedelic mushrooms alone, also roots, vines, leaves, flowers, seeds, and amphibians that naturally contain psychedelic properties. The term psychedelic was coined by psychiatrist Humphrey Osmond in 1956. It means mind manifesting, used to describe an altered state of consciousness, various stages of ego death, and fractal visions. Yes, there are a number of psychedelics that are found in nature. There are even some found inside of us that we can tap into with a little training. There are psychedelics created using science like LSD and MDMA. Most psychedelics are used in a traditional ceremony to help us heal and tap into our human potential. DMT is one psychedelic that we actually produce ourselves. Some psychedelics are also used as party drugs, which truly takes the soul out of the medicine. Coming from a recovering addict, it's destructive. So through propaganda and the war on drugs, psychedelics have also been criminalized. When I choose to work with a psychedelic, it's because it has presented itself to me in some way. I then get aligned with it, prepare my body and my mind, and create a sacred ceremony. Knowing where a psychedelic falls on the spectrum, you can better determine what ceremony will look like for you. Below is a list of elemental psychedelics that have crossed my path. Some, like psilocybin and cambo, sapo, I know on a very spiritual level, and others, like San Pedro cactus, huachuma, I admire and am drawn to, but have not yet worked with ceremonially. Spectrum of elemental psychedelics. Tonics. Cola, poppy, kava, nutmeg, valerian, yerba mate, tobacco, caffeine, gotu kola, aphrodisiacs. Level 1. Cannabis, wormwood, Hawaiian baby woodrose, cacao, coca, dream herb, datura, kratom. Level 2. Salvia divinorum, magic mushrooms, LSD, MDMA, mescaline, morning glory seeds, cambo frog. Level 3. Ayahuasca, DMT, bufo toad, sea sponges, 5-MeO DMT, ketamine, ibogaine, blue lotus, soma. Master, meditation, dreaming, flow state, birth, near death, art, astral projection, lucid dreaming. The more we open up the conversation around psychedelics and ask questions with an open mind, the more of a glimpse we see into our future as ascending monkeys. Today, so much has been forgotten about the natural world and spirituality, but thanks to emerging psychonauts and indigenous peoples, we receive these shared messages. Now our responsibility is to continue inviting this opportunity into our experience so we may continue to do, and love to do our important soul work as an individual rebirthing, and for serving a collective rebirth in a new world. Chapter 3. Pregnancy Period. Microdosing. Microdosing is the practice of using very small doses, usually between 10 and 20 micrograms of LSD or 100 milligrams of psilocybin or serotonergic psychedelics, with the intention to improve creativity, boost physical energy levels, promote emotional balance, increase performance on problem-solving tasks, and to treat anxiety, depression, and addiction. A microdose does not cause perceptual sensory changes, such as visual hallucinations, and is not strong enough to debilitate the consumer. Microdosing is reported to significantly heighten alertness, creativity, and problem-solving, inducing a flow state that aids in lateral thinking. What to expect? To know that we live inside is the beginning of remembering all. The truth is, there are millions of people out there, just like me and you, that have potential to transform this world for the better, but are struggling to get happier and healthier naturally. So many people want to get happier and healthier naturally, but lack direction. I talk to people waking up every day that want to make a positive impact in this world, yet are unclear about what actions to take. To know what actions to take and what direction to go, there is first preparation. You are not born the day you are conceived in your mother's womb. You have to grow first. You have to get to know your inner world first. You are born the day you come out of your ignorance into rebirth. Your greatest awakening comes when you are aware of your infinite nature and completely vulnerable and naked. But for now, let's get to know our inner world and our nutrition to support our growing sprouts. Prepare yourself. Trip Prepping 101. Over the next few pages, you will find my top tips for creating a safe setting so you can get the most out of your psychedelic experience. I have organized these tips into 3 categories: inner world, outer world, and integration. Each is super important to consider as you embark on your psychedelic journey. You learn the first category, inner world, here in pregnancy period, your outer world in early years, and integration into your teen years. By following these tips, you can reap the most of what will always be a transformative experience. Getting to know your inner world. What matters most to you? Empty your mind. Have no expectations. Surrender. Tips for a transformative experience. Supplies. You, your dose, and a private location, preferably earthed or energetically grounded into the earth. Find a space that will allow you freedom to move. Bringing a journal and having a pencil handy to write any intentions, goals, inspirations, or even ants that come up is also a good practice. Set timer, 3 minutes. Have an intention, an aim or goal you want to center your experience around. Sit down and figure out what matters most to you from your experience. An intention works as an anchor, a weight to connect you to Mama Nature. If you find your mind venturing into frightening territory, you can remember your anchored image. Studies suggest that grounding yourself outside, also called earthing, actually provides healthy benefits for relaxation, reducing pain, and better sleep. Empty your mind of harmful thoughts. Make room in your subconscious for this new experience. Get out all dark fears, panic, or anxiety by doing any exercises you learn in this guide. Allow your energy to express itself in whatever form you feel is right for you. Journaling, jumping, uncontrolled shaking, yoga postures, dancing, or ritualistic types of movements. Do not attach to expectations, whether physical, intellectual, or spiritual. Get out of your own way and allow the medicine to guide your experience. Prepare to surrender. Rather than fighting your discomforts, lovingly observe them and take note of them. Be curious about what you experience. Write down anything enlightening and then move on. Knowing your inner world. Take action and occupy yourself with activities that will increase your happiness or enhance your life, such as cooking nutritious meals, exercising, learning a new skill, or reading. Put forth the energy you want. The universe can only provide you what you are capable of, and if you have big dreams, then you have to work your way there. It's in you to accomplish whatever it is you want in life. Addictive behaviors involve brain pathways of reward, reinforcement, and the neurotransmitter dopamine. It is important to know that brain pathways are changeable. Think of your brain like an overgrown meadow you're born with. As a child, your family members create many pathways in the meadow. As you get older, some paths grow over while others become trails. The trails you rely on most often become roads and even highways. Anytime a road is unused, nature will take it over. And anytime you can choose to forge, you create a new path of your own. The problem is we forget that we have a choice. A bigger problem is giving our power away because we feel like it takes less of our energy. User and scientific trial research shows most psychedelics mimic the effects of serotonin, the mood regulator, and 5-HT2A receptors, HT for hydroxyltryptamine, which is serotonin, in the prefrontal cortex. This enables the transmission of signals between nerve cells and plays a role in learning and memory. For those new to the research, psychedelics prove effective at treating mental illness, such as PTSD, depression, anxiety, and addiction. Serotonergic neurotransmission, an assistant to processing of emotional stimuli, opens one up to experience life fully. Neurogenesis, the biological process for forming new neurons, molds one's personality. This has an important impact on one's value systems. These value systems include our cognitive flexibility and behaviors. Further, psychedelic reports show us a boost in psychosocial well-being, cognitive enhancement, creative enhancement, reduced depression and anxiety, enhanced self-insight, mindfulness, improved mood and attitude toward life, improved habits and health behaviors, also improved social interactions and interpersonal connections. These natural flora and fungi may just be our saving grace when it comes to self-regulation and recovery. While addiction and addiction symptom treatments are still dominated by prescriptions for pharmaceutical drugs, this does not mean that those prescribed have a pharmaceutical deficiency for selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors like Prozac and other SSRIs. These types of drugs boost levels of the neurotransmitter serotonin in synapses by blocking its reabsorption by neurons. Despite the fact that these drugs can have destructive and damaging side effects throughout the body and difficult withdrawal symptoms, such as depression, vomiting, brain zaps, and death, doctors are still dealing drugs for quick solutions rather than educating themselves on safer and natural alternatives. The truth is, psychedelics work like nootropics. They are smart and natural cognitive enhancers. They improve cognitive function, particularly executive functions, memory, creativity, or motivation in healthy individuals. These naturally sourced substances seem to unlock the brain's ability to remodel itself through neuroplasticity, meaning they rewire the brain. Working in tandem with a coach or other health professional may further support new growth of connections for cognition. We also know that psychedelics decrease blood flow to the DMN, default mode network, an area of the brain that is activated when the mind is wandering and has no commitment. In Napoleon Hill's book, Outwitting the Devil, he refers to this wandering as drifting. When taken with intention, psychedelics allow us the ability to think beyond our limited set of beliefs programmed within the DMN and find new solutions. As psychedelics decrease DMN activation, users expand their ability to connect seemingly unconnected pieces of information and create revolutionary new solutions. These changes enhance lateral thinking and creativity, both of which are critical for problem solving and analytical thinking. Mental health disorders like addiction, OCD, and ADD are powerful superpowers, and psychedelics give us the Jedi Master Yoda wisdom to use the Force for knowledge and defense. Psychedelics have regained interest because users report beneficial effects on cognitive processes and well-being. While using psychedelics and for basic health and nutrition maintenance, it is also important to include more fermented foods in your diet to support gut health. Probiotics are our troops of beneficial microorganisms which populate our digestive tract. They help to digest the food we eat, facilitate absorption of nutrients, and regulate our mood. Folate and other B vitamins are also crucial because they help in the production of dopamine. You can get your folate from a daily intake of lentils and leafy greens. Lastly, I want to mention magnesium, a key nutrient for nerve and muscle function and regulating the heartbeat. Magnesium deficiency could exacerbate depression and anxiety, so ensure you enjoy dark chocolate with its high supply of natural magnesium and have Epsom salt baths more often. 11 days of psilocybin microdosing. The COVID-19 pandemic hit Canada, and I was finding healing by laughing at memes about coronavirus online. Of all my reading, training, and experience, laughter is the best medicine of all. One of my favorite memes, has anyone just took magic mushrooms and talked to the virus? I replied out loud to anonymous author, challenge accepted. The week included daylight savings, the full worm moon, Friday the 13th, and the spring equinox was coming next. I contemplated, was someone playing Jumanji, or was this a synchronicity? I decided that this couldn't have been more of a sign for me to plan my next sacred journey using psilocybin mushrooms. I took the following week to prepare for ceremony, received my homegrown fungi, and committed myself to 11-day microdose journey initiated on the first day of spring. Preparation, tracking, and journaling is so important to monitor growth. I do this so I can later revisit and see my progress. We only know how far we've come when we look back and celebrate our successes. My 11-day trip report. Day 1. Prepare my apartment by spring cleaning. Portion out my homegrown mushrooms into 10 envelopes. Get super paranoid of COVID-19 after talking to family and friends. Attend a board of directors meeting over Zoom to discuss the Amazon Rainforest Conservancy. Take my first dose around 5 p.m. and fast the rest of the night, drinking only water and practicing Kundalini Yoga. I prayed for the planet and people of Earth. I practiced Reiki and washed my body. I slept like a baby next to my baby. Day 2. I woke up in a terrible mood, really impatient and ready to move. I cried aloud to my stepdad about my fears, pressures, life's mission, messages from the cosmos, and everything else under the stars. I felt everything and thought to myself, how can I teach my son emotional intelligence when I can't even hold myself together? Once I allowed myself to feel the feelings, name the feelings, and practice introspection, the more aligned I felt to my mission and my job as a mother. I went live at noon to open my seasonal coaching circles and knew I was going to be talking to the right people at the right time. At 5 p.m. I took my next dose and went to jump in puddles with Finn. We fell asleep shortly after returning home. Day 3, Sunday, the day of rest, and I felt rested. I was wired, ready for change and ready to move. There was no way I was staying in the city with my son, paranoid of a virus, people, vaccines, martial law, and a million other things that were stealing my focus and my life force energy. I post a funny meme to my personal Facebook and get called out hard. I received hundreds of comments, some supportive, some calling me an insensitive at best. I don't give a beep if I have a lousy sense of humor. I am not for everyone. After some journaling and deep contemplation, I sat with my stepdad. Over some herbal tea, we questioned our ideal style of living and unschooling Finn. At 5 p.m., I took my next dose, ate a bunch of popcorn, and watched some stand-up comedy with my stepdad, who I had now been isolated with for 8 days. Day 4. It's Monday morning and I am back to work, plugged into the computer at 8 a.m. and talking on coaching calls by 9. Feeling so beeping grateful for my place in this world, to be my own boss, to be educating my son in a way that's unique to him. I am blessed. At 5 p.m. I take my next dose and close my eyes. I meditate, I visit my inner world and talk with the coronavirus about medicine. Images appear that show me what I already know. Mushrooms can save the world. Day 5. I sleep in until 7:30. Usually I am up at 5 naturally. I needed to rest longer today. At 8 a.m. I am on the phone with my accountability partner, Victoria. We're kindred, her and I, like soul sisters, connected through internet and synchronicity. We discuss our success, our goals, and help each other tune into our next action steps. At 9:30, I interview Lawrence, a yogi and psychonaut from Germany, about how he healed himself using psychedelic mushrooms. After recording, we discuss how psychedelics have played a role in how I parent Finn, and I agree to be interviewed about spiritual entrepreneurship, parenting, and psychedelics. I spend the rest of the day unschooling Finn, and at 5 p.m., after he's fed and content with his papa, I take my next dose. I feel super optimistic about my future, and our future as a species. Day 6, Wednesday, my favorite day of the week because I feel like a female Neil deGrasse Tyson. My Carl Jung is the one and only Dr. Dan Engel. If you don't know Dr. Dan, he is the doctor behind Onnit, owner of Full Spectrum Medicine, and a high-level influencer in the psychedelic world. I've been willing him to be my mentor for 3 years, and now a group of us meet to learn from him every Wednesday for 60 minutes. This Wednesday, he shared the most awesome news that we would now be meeting for an extra half hour every week. Yes! When I got off the call at 6 p.m., I took my dose. I felt grateful, aligned, full of purpose, and driven by passion. Day 7, another awesome day, another awesome mentor. I have been waiting months for this opportunity to be on a Zoom call with Paul Stamets and the team that created the fantastic fungi collection. I cried to my stepdad, sobbed actually. We needed to get to the country ASAP. I needed to focus with the medicine now. We found the cabin we would stay in until the pandemic was over, and I began packing us up and closing down our city apartment. On this day, I also got news that my friend, who had been sick and was finally called in for COVID-19 testing, and was now sedated in the intensive care unit. He is to date still in the ICU, but also doing better at breathing on his own compared to the other patients tested positive in the area. Bless the staff, bless apple cider vinegar, bless everyone who is affected by this pandemic. At 5 p.m., I take my dose, and shortly after, join the lively Paul Stamets Zoom call. Day 8, I awake with a headache. I rest, I go inward, I breathe. On this day, I fast and skip my 8th dose. Instead, I cuddle with Finn, and we watch Harry Potter as a family. I don't often watch TV, but when I do, I commit. Day 9, I awake feeling really good and rested. I maintain my fast and take my 8th dose at 8 a.m., starting to eat again at 10 a.m. I finish packing up for the country cabin we're moving to and close down our city apartment for the duration of the pandemic. I am in go mode, but also so calm and focused. I am aligned, and by noon we're ready to hit the highway. We arrive at our country homestead around supper time, unpack the car, and explore the land as a family. Finn adventures while Papa and I discuss how we are going to care for the land, forage and grow food. A mild headache returns around sunset, so I give myself a massage with a homemade cream and consume my weight in water before I fall asleep like a baby. We made it. Day 10. Wow, the beauty of this place is stunning. The smell of maple brings me back to my childhood, and I am inspired to make a video for my friends and family about our move. At 2 p.m., I remember I still have 2 doses left. I take one, and as Finn naps, I write, and then together we adventure outside and clean the log home we moved into. Life is good. Day 11. It's all happening. I have accepted what has happened. I have adjusted to what needs to be adjusted, and now I am more aligned with my purpose than I could have imagined before this journey. As I write this, I see the clock read 5 p.m., and I take my 10th and final dose of psilocybin mushrooms while I listen to my son giggle with his papa. I am so grateful to be Finn's mom, grateful for my stepdad that believes in me and helps me every day to raise a healthy, happy, and wealthy human. I am entirely at peace with my new reality, honor my ability to not only ask the universe for something, but manifest what I want as well. I am also so grateful to Psychedelic and all my readers that resonate with my story. I love you all so much. Set and setting. It's become mainstream knowledge that everything is energy. What's more is that the human body consists of 5 layers of energy. The first layer is the physical body, and there are 4 other energy fields surrounding, referred to collectively as a person's aura. Together, these 5 energy bodies comprise the human energy field. These layers are where our mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional data is stored. Energy medicine practitioners believe that it's not enough to treat the physical body when people are ill, but to also treat multiple energetic aspects of the body. It takes someone doing aura photography or having clairvoyant ability to see the layers of your energy bodies. Psychedelics like MDMA and psilocybin can help as they relax your third eye to receive visualization. The 5 energy bodies include physical, etheric, emotional, mental, and spiritual. According to ancient Eastern wisdom, these are layers of our being, sometimes known as koshas. You can build your life force energy by the way you choose to live your life. Your posture, what's on your plate, your habits, your mindset, your activities, your tribe, and your attitude matter while cultivating habits to live your highest potential and have your happiest life. Prolonged imbalance may lead to physical disease and mental health challenges like addiction, depression, or anxiety. Our ability to heal is as natural as our ability to breathe. Through energy work, you bring healing and balance back into your awareness. 11 ways you can tap into your natural healing abilities. 1. Crystals and gemstones. Sometimes crystals are used to help stimulate the flow of energy. These minerals carry different vibrations and energetic properties from Mama Nature. Depending on what your body might need, different stones can work with vibrations in your body. Try a crystal grid or charging your crystals with moon or sunlight. 2. Smudge. Burning herbs helps rid negative energy and gives you a fresh start. Sage and cedar cleanse the aura. Shamans use stick of the saints, smoke of Palo Santo. When your area is smudged, open a window so the negativity you are cleansing has an exit. 3. Acupuncture, cupping, tapping, EFT. Pressure, suction, or rhythm is strategically placed where pockets of energy are stagnant to help balance the energy systems of the body. Touching points on the body in a specific pattern can ease stress, anxiety, depression, and chronic pain. 4. Qigong, yoga, tai chi. Ancient energy work integrates movement, mantra, and breath work to move life force and balance the mind and body. Kundalini yoga is my personal favorite, life-changing practice. 5. Self-care. Take the time to tap into your body's frequencies to promote well-being. What makes you feel good? Microdosing, journaling, healing others, affirmations, baths with Epsom salts, essential oils, DIY spa days, dancing like no one is watching. Whatever it is, do more of that. 6. Pranayama, breath work. An active meditation, to be mindful, an act of meditation. Change your breathing pattern to boost mental, physical, and spiritual health. Dr. Andrew Weil teaches the 4-7-8 breath to neutralize the nervous system. And Iceman, Wim Hof, shares transforming breathwork exercises too. 7. Herbal infusions, essential oils. Anything made from Mama Nature will harness her good vibes and intelligence to promote well-being. Try growing your own medicine, making your own home apothecary alternatives, and infusing your creations with sun and moon energy. 8. Reiki. Reiki provides healing, increases relaxation, and reduces stress. Reiki has no dogma. There's nothing you must believe to learn and use Reiki. Reiki is guided by consciousness. As such, Reiki can never do harm. The recipient of Reiki must simply be willing to receive. Reiki is recognized and used by professionals in some hospitals today. 9. Touch, hugs, massage. We are all deprived of touch. Even if you are in a loving relationship, you may not be touched in all the ways you need. Touch is a fundamental human need, and when we are unable to touch each other in person, it is important to consider alternative ways we can touch a heart. 10. Proper nutrition, Ayurveda teachings. Infuse your food and water with intention. The color of food can be matched to each color of the chakras and provide every cell in your body unique and essential nutrients. 11. Psychedelics. Psychoactive substances can induce flow states as they cause brainwaves to shift toward alpha oscillations. Additionally, while sustaining higher levels of serotonin, psychedelics create an opportunity for our brains to make unique communication connections, thus allowing you the opportunity to heal all parts of your being. Set and setting energy channels. All yoga traditions talk about energy pathways. Some call them chakras, others meridians, nadis, or channels. These pathways are an intricate system within each of us where our energy, life force, prana, or chi moves. It is said that 72,000 nadis and 114 chakras are moving energy through our system. Energy, like water, should be moving to keep it fresh. When water is stagnant too long, it grows bacteria, stiffens things up, and can cause many more ills in the body. There are 7 major chakras, each in a specific location along your spine. There are 7 major chakras, each in a specific location along your spine. The 7 major chakras are root chakra, Muladhara, sacral chakra, Svadhisthana, solar plexus chakra, Manipura, heart chakra, Anahata, throat chakra, Vishuddha, third eye chakra, Anja, and crown chakra, Sahasrara, linked to transcendence. It is important to consider set and setting because your preparation prior to a psychedelic experience leads you to your intention, whether conscious or unconscious, and ripples to a creation process. Moving your body with yoga prepares your body for flow as you naturally activate and energize your chakras with the practice. Smudging your space with sage clears your surrounding environment. Breathing deeply clears and expands your lungs and capacity to be in a parasympathetic state where you can rest and digest in feeling secure. Having your practice in a cluttered environment blocks energy, so clear your space. Clean dust bunnies from corners. Help a few spiders make a chance outside. Set your altar and make your intentions clear. If a chakra is low in energy, you'll have difficulty expressing particular qualities associated with that chakra. If a chakra is overactive, the qualities are a dominant force in the person's life. This can affect all of your energy bodies. In general, the location of the chakra that is out of balance may affect all parts of your being. This may include your organs, bones, joints, and tissues near that area, or increase your risk for emotional imbalance such as increased anger, sadness, fear, or indecisiveness. Yoga postures are great for releasing stagnant energy. Breathing encourages the flow of energy, and meditation brings clarity of mind. Intention, spelling, affirmations, and psychedelics all enhance your natural psychic abilities. These swirling wheels of energy correspond to massive nerve centers in the body. Each of the 7 main chakras contains bundles of nerves to our major organs, as well as pathways to our psychological, emotional, and spiritual states of being. Since everything is moving, it's essential that our 7 major chakras stay open, aligned, and fluid. If there is a blockage, energy flows are restricted. Our mind, body, soul, and spirit are intimately connected, and an awareness of an imbalance in one area through chakra meditation will help bring the others back into balance. Each chakra holds the beliefs, emotions, and memories related to specific areas of our life. The lower chakras are related to earthly matters such as survival, sex, and power. The top 3 chakras are related to higher consciousness, truth, intuition, purpose, wisdom, and your connection to the divine. They connect at the heart chakra, which bridges 2 worlds with empathy, love, forgiveness, and compassion. The chakra system offers a map that helps us see the correlation between anatomy, mindset, emotion, and energy. It integrates the mind and body connection in an accessible and practical way. Our holistic being needs energy in order to be healthy and happy. A balanced chakra anatomy reminds us of our infinite potential and guides us to get healthier and happier naturally. Chapter 4. The Rebirth. Rebirth Day, Moons and Astrology. The new moon is considered a fallow time, in which one rests and rejuvenates. This is also a time when hormonally balanced women will menstruate naturally. In other traditions, it's a time to ask and manifest. When the sky shows the dark side of the moon, it appears as a black canvas for us to visualize our desires. I focus more on intention during this phase, tap into my inner self, and affirm my monthly goals. The waxing crescent moon is used to focus on positivity, which naturally draws things to you like a magnet. This is the moon phase when you will get things done. Anything I need to achieve my goals appears to me through synchronicity during this time. As the moon gets closer to full, so do my resources, my trust in the universe to provide. The full moon includes the day before and the day after a full moon. Highly sensitive people can even feel the powers of the full moon up to 3 days before and after, for a total of 7 days. If you want to follow the phases of the moon for your sacred journey, the full moon is a good time to do rituals focused on personal growth and spiritual development. The waning moons are used to banish unwanted energies and encourage us to get rid of or destroy things we no longer wish to be burdened by. This is a time each month when I cleanse my environment and write a letter releasing all the baggage that has built up inside me over time. While the moon is fading and dwindling, I do a simple ceremony to help me release negativity back to Mother Nature, who knows what to do with it. I make it a habit to get rid of anything that's bad, hostile, or toxic, so that come the next moon cycle, new moon, I can start over fresh. Astrology can be a powerful integrative tool for psychonauts and truly does allow for other exceptional experiences to manifest. Celebrate Rebirth Day, Kundalini Yoga time. As I do every journey, I started my yoga practice and set an intention with the mushrooms to be gentle while guiding me to the answers I am seeking. I started to feel really tired and went to my bed to lie down. Immediately, with no warning, I entered hell. Within 20 minutes of ingesting the psilocybin, I was shot directly into the infinite abyss of human suffering. I felt my nervous system go into a panic. I was experiencing my past, present, and future all at the same time, embodying every person who has ever suffered, every person currently living, every terrible thing that has ever happened to anyone, every pain and every grievance, every emotion tied to any human who suffered was being channeled through me. As this was happening, I was screaming out, moaning and crying. Later, as I grounded into my breath, I comforted my inner child that was still suffering, thanked my body for being the magnificent vessel it is, and individually blessed every body part I could think of. Birthing process. Laughter. The first phase of the dose lasted about 90 minutes, which for me meant non-stop breath work. At some point, I knew I had to move. I had to pull myself out of my own hell. I didn't know how to make anything better. I just remember somewhat coming to and out of the human suffering. I began to laugh bigger, longer, and louder than ever before. To overcome hell, I had to allow the psychedelics to consume me in uproarious laughter. If you try to fight them or keep control, you are going to have a bad trip. You have to be strong and brave enough. You have to trust that you made the right decision and enjoy the process of change. I accept whatever the mushrooms choose for me and wherever they choose to take me. Acceptance of what is and growing your adaptability is a major part of psychedelic therapy. Consumption. People around the globe have been asking me to get deeper into the topic of setting intentions before using psychedelics. Even those level 1 psychedelic medicines, like coffee, cacao, tobacco. So often, people don't even consider tobacco, coffee, and chocolate as psychedelics, but they are, and they require preparation, such as setting intentions and the integration work following. This is important because every psychedelic is mind-altering, soul-manifesting, and opens up your native psychic abilities naturally. There are all kinds of psychedelics, but using any one of them can open up a core wound that you may have been oppressing. This is called a bad trip, and even coffee and cannabis can lead to this. By setting intentions before consuming, you can better surrender and work with the medicine. This is when the mindset shift happens and you freely move through the feeling of a core wound, reopening into loving awareness that is actually a core gateway, a place inside yourself that only you are responsible for cultivating. Psychedelics are great guides and each has their own unique teachings. Much of the ancient knowledge around psychedelics has been lost and scientific research has been oppressed, even though people are waking up. People around the world are seeking connection with nature, themselves, and honoring these psychedelic tools as they go through a process of elemental growth. Soil, like our gut, has its own microbiome. This supports the health of the plants growing on Earth. Our consumption of highly processed foods, overuse of chemicals and antibiotics have destroyed key microbes in the human gut. We also have carelessly damaged the Earth soil microbiome through overuse of chemical herbicides, pesticides, fertilizers, and fungicides. Heavy plowing and tillage, as well as failure to add organic matter back into the soil, is causing big problems, both internally, our gut, and externally, our home planet. We have an abundance of free food and medicine growing all around us, yet choose to poison our herbal medicine and pluck it out of lawns. We separate the parts of a whole and patent the parts. We remove nutrients and add in chemically modified substitutes. We farm and drug animals and then consume the distress locked in their flesh. We rely on doctors to heal and governments to dictate what's right and wrong for us, even though we are all so unique. Ashley Michaud. 2/3 of American adults are obese or overweight, and childhood obesity has grown into a national epidemic. The craziest statistic here is that this is the first time in human history children's life expectancy is less than their parents. It's insane to me that North America is number 28 for life expectancy rate, yet trillions of dollars are spent treating disease. This is not so surprising when you consider the average drug label lists 70 potential adverse reactions. Overall, drugs are 62,000 times more likely to kill you than nutritional supplements, and 7,750 times more likely to kill you than herbal remedies. I am not a doctor, but I recommend you go to your pharmacy and get a list of all the adverse reactions of all of your prescriptions. Then call your doctor if you have any of those side effects, because medicine should make you feel better, not worse. The answer is not in a pill bottle. The answer is out there growing in the garden. No matter what you were looking for, you'll probably find it at the bottom of a smoothie glass. Energy, stamina, focus, fat loss, digestion, beautiful skin and hair, longevity. All of these things can be achieved and even improved upon by adding more colorful, whole foods and pure water to your day. Do you know how to source, purify water? How to grow your own food? How to cook and preserve food? How to build and maintain a home? How to connect to your infinite energy? Or how to love unconditionally? The body is programmed to be healthy when provided with the right building blocks, such as organic whole foods. Whole foods have the information our cells need built in. Real food gives specific instructions to our cells. You can upgrade your software with the right food. The human body will heal itself, by itself, given half a chance. These are the very concepts that changed my life. Our gut bacteria, our cells, our blood, our being is determined by what we let in us. When it comes down to it, the only knowledge that really matters, we literally become what we consume. At the end of the day, what works is Mama Nature. She feeds us information from the growth stage through harvest and consumption to elimination. Mama Nature is conscious and gives us the power to tap into our own consciousness. Our food is our body's direct link to the external world. Every day we enjoy our meals, our snacks, and every time we digest that food, the energy of that food becomes our body, becomes us. Life force food, vibrant, colorful whole foods, this is what the body craves to feel our best. The vibrant colors of fruits and vegetables aren't just visually appealing, they are also indicators of abundant protective nutrients. You'll likely have a healthier diet if you use color as your guide in choosing fruits and vegetables. While there's nothing wrong with eating a lot of green vegetables, research suggests the wider variety of natural colors you have on your plate or in your daily diet, the better your nutritional needs will be met. Reds provide us with powerful antioxidants. Oranges, yellows protect the body from oxidative stress. Greens are a great source of vitamins. Blues, purples, blacks protect against carcinogens. Whites contain immune-stimulating properties. A rainbow diet is a colorful, intelligent, and intuitive system for designing your plate and living in a holistic way that brings you vitality, energy, and peace of mind. Get eco-thrifty. Consumption also plays a role in what we consume and how we utilize other material in our environment. Becoming a conscious shopper is quite an eye-opening journey. For example, I see plastic everywhere. Everything seems to come in containers or non-repurposable wrapping and gets thrown out. When cutting down on plastic, you can use mason jars. If you have a scale, weigh your reusable jar, or have your natural food grocery store clerk tear the weight of your jar and label the bottom with the exact weight before filling with bulk items. In addition to jars, when resupplying kitchen stock, use mesh bags which are small and light. I love to find ways to use my garbage and even kitchen scraps. One way I do this is by regrowing sweet potatoes, lettuce, green onions, kale, and herbs in water, and then potting them. To be even more eco-thrifty, I freeze other scraps from onions and herbs for soup broth. Leftover tea leaves, ground coffee, and water from steaming vegetables can be used as fertilizer for plants. Intentions for psychedelic consumption. Setting intentions before working with a psychedelic can be a powerful practice. Here are examples I have used along my journey. Coffee. As I drink this herbal remedy, I will boost my energy levels, mood, and brain function. This medicinal beverage is going to help me enhance my performance and nutrition today. Note, many people are actually very allergic to caffeine and have no idea. Drinking too much too often also comes with negative consequences. I personally drink my coffee with foraged mushrooms like reishi or chaga and adaptogens like ashwagandha or burdock root. You can also add MCT oil or cinnamon for some other benefits. Cacao. By consuming this superfood, I will naturally reduce inflammation and stress. Cacao is supporting my brain health and improving my blood flow. Every time I consume cacao in its natural form, I am preventing age-related brain degeneration. Cannabis. This herb is helping me to heal myself. This medicine is going to come to my body now and holds the power to heal me naturally. As I use this tool, I will become more present, more focused, more creative, and more grounded. Mushrooms. Upon taking this dose, I become more present, treating any feelings of depression and anxiety that may come up today. This fungus is here to help me manage my addictive behaviors and transmute them into healthier flow states. These mushrooms allow me to dissolve my fears, mental saboteurs, and unserving behaviors naturally. Psilocybin is opening me up to love my divine connection with all. Kambo. I love my elimination organs. Kambo is healing me. I am now releasing my family karma, my own karma, and all which no longer serves me. Kambo is a powerful frog medicine that is strengthening my immune system and dissolving any inflammation. Kambo is bringing me into homeostasis and much more. DMT. I am opening myself up to higher powers. I am increasing my confidence, boosting my mood, and becoming mentally healthy naturally. These different tools are helpful for many people. Psychedelics are just one tool, and each is very unique. If you are interested in psychedelics, make sure you look in nature for quality medicine or find an experienced guide. Download. The power of the plant world is in us too. We have always been using herbs, fungi, and plants. Archaeological evidence indicates that humans were using medicinal plants during the Paleolithic period, approximately 60,000 years ago. We only started altering growing methods about 6,000 years ago. In reflection, the whole industrial food system began with fast food in the 1930s. This is when we became so disconnected. Before then, plants weren't the alternative, but the answer. The more you work with plants, the more you will pick up on their vibe. Food, calories, and medicine are all one. Most people today don't even understand how bland their diet is. Our guts need diversity from the soil, plants, and bugs. You cannot live without plants, and a diverse supply of them. Plants feed us information from the growth stage, through harvest and consumption to elimination. Plants are conscious and give us the power to tap into our own consciousness. When our society is overwhelmed with emotional pain, opioids, alcohol, and addictive food-like substances, we need to harness the power of plants before everyone becomes chronically ill and disconnected. Brain scans show that sugar is 8 times more addictive than heroin. that one dose of Tylenol makes you feel less empathy, and I am not even going to touch on the alcohol and opioid stats today, other than 29% of people prescribed opioids misuse them because anyone can become physically dependent in under 2 weeks. By consuming more plants, using them as food, medicine, and in your personal care regime, you will free yourself of addiction and take your power back. Plants can help a lot of people with chronic pain, both physical and emotional. This means livelihood success with less side effects. Stress and pain are both symptoms of something more serious, and plants allow us to identify the roots, while also providing our body everything we need to heal ourselves. It's so strange to me we have to look outside a conventional doctor to tell us that our body is intelligent, and we do our own healing when bonding with plants. Plants allow us to unlock our true potential as humans when we are fully nourished in Mother Nature's naturally abundant food and medicinal forest. Surrender. It was my stepdad's 60th, and the full moon was high in the sky before the sun even had time to set. I was making homemade chocolate in my kitchen and infusing it with Peruvian mushrooms, the magic kind. As the chocolate set, I hopped on Instagram to check what messages were awaiting me. One message really called out. It was from a follower that was selling infused chocolates. Serendipity, I thought. He mentioned that a popular post I share on microdosing could use an update. The post suggests a microdose of 0.25 grams, 250 milligrams, boosts mood and helps you stay present. The truth is, a microdose can be anything under 0.25 gram, and for each person, the dose and effect may be different. It's actually recommended to start with 0.05 grams, 50 milligrams, and work your way up to your personal bliss point. In reality, I have scales but don't use them. I didn't even think it was relevant to share all the details on Instagram when I created the post. Maybe it's because of this humbling message or the consideration of overdosing a microdose, but when I ate my heart-shaped mushroom-infused chocolate, I overdosed. I felt the yawns, the tiredness, and desire for fresh air. I felt the nausea and desperation for a comfortable place to lie down. To be honest, I didn't even know what was going on. Thankfully, I honored what my body was saying and relaxed on my neatly made bed. It was probably about 20 minutes later I realized, oh, I am high. This is what an overdosed microdose is. Following this epiphany, I was able to surrender and allow the mushrooms to guide me through an inevitable and humbling experience. I hopped out of bed and got out my yoga mat. I had practiced yoga for a while now and didn't know this day, when I hopped on my mat, I was going to have a breakthrough. My only intention when dosing was to enjoy love-filled chocolates with my stepdad on his 60th birthday, then journal under the moonlight until I was ready for dream time. I was happy to be alone in my own private space because I began my yoga practice. I was in flow, I was releasing toxins and going really deep into my breath and body. I felt it right then. The integration was happening. I knew the moment when everything became one, when a fierce energy began rising from the seat of my soul, healing and strengthening through my spine. My breath and blood were generating heat, creating alchemy inside my only real home, my body. I remember being on all fours with my tongue out as far as it could reach, practicing lion's breath, when the real magic began. Laughter. Truly the best medicine. I had pushed through any hell, blockages, and fears. I was reborn, with renewed energy and a sense of freedom. I was liberated. I met up with my stepdad for a cannabis session a couple of hours later. We were both quietly looking outside. I remember thinking, I am free. I knew in that moment my life wouldn't be the same. My attitude had changed. My body was in homeostasis. I felt so good. I went outside and watched the waves down at the lake until the sun set for the night. Outer world. It is essential to know that any psychedelic you obtain has come from a reliable source and that you take the proper dose. Like any food or medicine, you want to ensure that if it's going in your body, it's from a happy and healthy source. Consider employing a trip sitter for the night. Make sure it's someone you trust to help talk you through anything that may come up. Additionally, having someone around to help you with practical needs, like getting you a glass of water or passing a joint, will let you focus on your journey. Make sure you have plenty of time to stay in the space for the duration of the experience. For example, LSD's effects tend to begin around an hour after ingestion and can last for over 8 hours. Psilocybin mushrooms effects usually start 30 to 60 minutes after ingestion and last between 4 and 6 hours. Keep in mind that going from place to place, being in a public setting, or dealing with logistical matters can be difficult while using psychedelics and can also be a source of anxiety. Set up the room that you will be in so that it feels right to you. You may want to have some music to listen to. Music without words is recommended, as it is less likely to pull your thoughts away. You may have a deeper awareness of your body, so having a yoga mat or massage oil can be a nice treat. More profound emotions and feelings can come up, and having a pen and journal is a must. Equip your trip space with cushions, blankets, and somewhere to lie down if necessary. Be within easy reach of a water source and toilet. Avoid general bad vibes of any sort. This may seem obvious, but do not watch scary or unpleasant films, and do not listen to unpleasant music. Burn some incense or smudge if it helps you. Try to spend some quiet time in nature if you need to get into a positive and peaceful mood. Familiar and comfortable, an uncluttered room or secluded outdoor environment is best if you begin to have a bad trip. Chapter 5. Early Years. Nursing from Nature. The early years brings passion. My passion grows for herbology, including entheogens, permaculture, and conservation for our land and food forests. I am coaching clients a prescription to sustain healthy habits, as well as holding clients accountable to healing their body and mind naturally. My path has been full of scary obstacles, but I always believe I am worthy of feeling my healthy best. Yes, there are struggles in changing food habits. There are also feelings of excitement to have a choice in having the best food that my body craves to feel my healthy best. My mission became teaching others that eating at the Golden Arches paves their way to the pearly gates. The truth is, after my psychedelic awakening in 2014, I was feeling driven to dive deeper down the rabbit hole and get more curious about a world of nutrition. In 2017, I enrolled into the world's largest nutrition school. Today I hold 2 masters, 3 additional certifications in nutrition, hormone health, and coaching. On my own time, I practice herbology and permaculture. Natural foraging. The following pages have been designed specifically for those of you foraging for naturally occurring psychedelics on this planet, Earth. There is an estimated total of 800,000 plants growing on this planet right now. Of these, 120 are classified as hallucinogenic. There are also at least 144 species of mushroom which contain the psychoactive ingredient psilocybin. You can additionally find land creatures, sea life, and bodily secretions which produce psychedelic effects. Psychedelics can naturally be found on each continent. Please note that this is just a general guide to inspire you to research what resonates with you most. There are many psychedelics that you will not see here because they are synthetic, produced in your own body, can be grown in your home, or I just don't know of them yet. Are you currently working with any psychedelics right now? What is your experience so far? If not, what psychedelic inspires you? South America. Flora. Ayahuasca, the bee cape vine, is stripped of its leaves and branches, mulched into a fiber, and brewed in boiling water. Then, leaves of Psychotria viridis, which are traditionally picked in the morning, are added. Mimosa teniflora, Anadenanthera peregrina, Anadenanthera columbrina, Salvia divinorum, peyote, San Pedro, wachuma, Peruvian torch cactus, Sananga, guarana, datura, yacuana, morning glory, echinopsis, mimosa teniflora, cacao, coffee, tobacco, and coca, to name a few you can start with. Fungi, 50 species of magic mushrooms, psilocybin, Amanita muscaria, and an additional 53 species of magic mushrooms in Mexico. Fauna, bufo, gambo, Smedospongia aurea, Smedospongia echina, Varungula rigida, and Udistoma fragum, sea squirt. North America, flora, Turnera diffusa, Damiana, Callia ternifolia, morning glory, Argyrea nervosa, Hawaiian baby wood rose, Eschscholzia californica, California poppy, Datura lophophora, Solanaceae, nutmeg, and kava. Fungi, 22 species of magic mushrooms, psilocybin, Amanita muscaria. Fauna, Sonoran desert toad. Europe, flora, yellow-horned poppy, Mandragora officinarum, mandrake, Hyos, Siamus niger, Atropa belladonna, Papaver somniferum, opium poppy, and yerba mate. Fungi, 16 species of magic mushrooms, psilocybin, Amanita muscaria. Fauna, fire salamander, Sarpa salpa, sea bream, and Paramersea clavat. Australia, flora, blue lily flower. Fungi, 19 species of magic mushrooms, psilocybin. Fauna, Villagorgia rubra. Asia, flora, Mitragia speciosa, Ephedra, valerian, Areca catechu, Rauvolfia serpentina, Indian snakeroot, Atropa belladonna, nutmeg, Papaver somniferum, opium poppy, tea, and cannabis. Fungi, 15 species of magic mushrooms, psilocybin, Amanita muscaria. Fauna, none I know of. Africa, Silene undulata, Argyrea nervosa, Hawaiian baby wood rose, Tabernath iboga, Areca cachua, Pausin istalia yohimbi, Scelentium tortuosum, Atropa belladonna, Cat, colanut, and blue lily flower. Fungi, 4 species of magic mushrooms, psilocybin. Fauna, Paramersea clavat. First 7 years. Having spent 7 years studying the chakras professionally and being a mom, I see how the two integrate. I am excited to share these secrets with you in the chart below, showing chakra development in early year stages of life. First year, root chakra, foundation, safety, security, survival, mantra, I am. Second year, sacral chakra, flow, pressure, sense of self, creativity, mantra, I feel. Third year, solar plexus, willpower, purpose, strength, intuition, mantra, I do. Fourth year, heart chakra, love, compassion, balance, acceptance, mantra, I love. Fifth year, throat chakra, communication, truth, expression, tone, mantra, I speak. Sixth year, third eye, perception, imagination, vision, alignment, mantra, I see. Seventh year, crown chakra, wisdom, knowledge, spiritual connection, mantra, I know. Finding your tribe. So many people have influenced my elemental growth journey, and among them, named throughout Rebirth, are here. Special thank you and gratitude for your mentorships. I find my tribe here with ever-expanding psychonauts. Many of these awesome psychonauts have influenced the world's view on psychedelics. Elise Parker, Ellen Fisher, my mother, IIN, Integrative Nutrition, Dr. Dan Engel, Oracle Dennis McKenna, and mycologist Paul Stamets, Xander Fryer, Dr. Andrew Weil, Richard Alpert, Hindu Guru Neem Karoli Baba, Ram Dass, Toltec Wisdom, Maya Finesse, Joe Rogan Experience, JRE Podcast, Terrence McKenna, Humphrey Osmond, MD, Napoleon Hill, Fantastic Fungi, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Raven, Jana, Conservancy President, Our Elemental Growth Online Community and Marketplace, Rick Doblin, Cary Grant, Dan Cleland, Michael Pollan, Aubrey Marcus, Sociodelic, The Zendo Project, Gabor Mate, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Timothy Leary, Bill Hicks, Richard Evans Schultz, George Carlin, Aldous Huxley, Susan Sarandon, The Beatles, Jack Nicholson, Alan Watts, Sam Harris, Carl Jung, Jim Morrison, Duncan Trussell, Mike Tyson, Shia LaBeouf, and you. Not only do I want to thank you for being a part of this revolution, but remind you that these plants are indigenous. They aren't just these novel things we take to trip out on, but rather a medicine, a nutritional supplement, an intelligence with powers to help us get out of our own way so we can get healthier and wealthier naturally. With such growth in both research and in organizing, we can look forward to the day when the acceptance of psychedelic medicine allows millions of suffering people to achieve miraculous healing how nature intended. Chapter 6, Teen Years, Mastering Your Energy. To start at the beginning, I began using drugs really young. Cigarettes at 9, alcohol and cannabis at 10, magic mushrooms at 13, ecstasy at 15, and so on. I come by it honestly too. While I am 110% responsible for my actions, during my early life all I knew was partying, alcohol, religion, anger, neglect, and abuse. Sure, that may be framing myself as a victim, but in some cosmic way I believe I chose this life, and I am really grateful for everything I have experienced as I walk my path in life. When I lost my dad to a morphine overdose at 17 years old, I swore off the pharmaceutical industry. My mom, however, did not. When I was 21 years old, I found her on the kitchen floor, blue in the face, wearing several fentanyl patches. Another common opioid made by Big Pharma. Yes, sad, but I am far from alone. There are over 120,000 deaths worldwide annually attributed to opioids. Taking responsibility. A virus more contagious than COVID is spreading. It's called victim mentality. Victims are contagious. Victims are convincing. Victims are not able to reason. Victims are the best recruiters. Victims do well on social media. Victims are not happy until they convert you. When I had my wake-up call, spiritual awakening, hitting rock bottom or breakdown, I was 25 years old. I was walking to the ocean shore when I suddenly knew I had to go back to the village I once called home to face my past, heal myself, break my addictions, and rise up to meet my potential as a human being. This wake-up was my call to responsibility. Defining your identity. Have you been trying to reach a goal but not getting the results you want? It can actually be easier than you realize once you see one thing. Most people consciously say they want a goal, but if they've been trying to reach something and not seeming to grasp the results, they procrastinate to look under the hood for what's blocking their engine subconsciously. The conscious mind says, I'll take tall, dark, and handsome, but the subconscious mind says, I want emotionally unavailable, passive-aggressive, and avoidant. You would never consciously ask for that. Now, I'm not saying anything about mechanics, but the mechanics here is our programming wires familiarities that keep us safe from our past. We see this when we look at who we attract, what dynamics our interactions play out, and we show ourselves evidence of our subconscious programming when we autopilot our experience without mindfulness creative to our identity. We can use any goal, relational, financial, physical, etc., and there are limitations our subconscious mind brings forth to ascertain a limit. I read in various journals, 95% of behavior comes from the subconscious. If we're not doing our personal soul level work and are only bringing ourselves so far as we can bring ourselves in our journey, our subconscious mind holds the brakes. Our conscious mind stays on the gas pedal. We get in our own way. We make reaching goals much harder than necessary. Trippy hippie phase. When I finally made it out of my bed and back to the living room, I sat on the couch and fell into a trance. I was listening to the same yoga soundtrack as I played 3 hours before. I felt comfortable, safe, and in a state of love and peace. As I drifted in and out of a meditative state, my stepdad and I continued to laugh and talk for the last hour or so of our trip. What magic mushrooms allow you to see is your truth. They literally peel back every layer so that all that is left is your vulnerability and raw soul. When 1 of 3 people are being put on antidepressants for symptoms relating to traumatic events, psilocybin remains illegal in most parts of the world. Psilocybin grows naturally across the globe. There are at least 144 species of mushrooms that have psychedelic compounds, which allow you to revisit your pain from a safe, alternative perspective in order to bring about a better understanding of the events that unfolded, which is a major part of any sustainable healing process. Even as a well-versed psychonaut who has been taking psychedelics for over 18 years, I approached this heroic dose with a great deal of experience. I have had all sorts of trips and many breakthroughs as well, and I do encourage you to do your research before attempting this therapy. Let's put our faith in a natural way. Forget the chemicals and your pesticide spray. Educate yourself for the children of today. Paul Isaac. Wild and free independently. A major cause of humans' detrimental impact on Earth is the destruction of our natural resources, particularly the Earth's ecosystems. On a global scale, scientific data shows us that humans are living far beyond the capacity of this planet. We are using 5 to 10 planets worth of resources for domestication in unsustainable, unfair, and gluttonous ways. 1/3 of people on the planet are kids. Let's help them face this situation by changing how we live and making our home and Earth home more sustainable. Transitioning to renewable living requires research and planning. Have no fear. You can get started today, wherever you live, and with whatever resources and skills you already have. At a global level, the environmental impact of agribusiness is being addressed through sustainable agriculture and organic farming. At local level, there are various movements working towards local food production, more productive use of urban wastelands, and domestic gardens, including permaculture, urban horticulture, local food, slow food, sustainable gardening, and organic gardening. To reduce waste, industry, business, and government are now mimicking nature by turning the waste produced by industrial metabolism into resources. Dematerialization is being encouraged through the ideas of industrial ecology, eco-design, and eco-labeling. In addition to the well-established reduce, reuse, and recycle, shoppers are using their purchasing power for ethical consumerism and less carbon footprint. The expansion of sustainable business opportunities contributes to job creation through the introduction of green-collar workers and entrepreneurs. Research shows us that innovation driven by the depletion of our planet can result in fundamental advantages when the right principles of innovation are applied. Freedom is the greatest fruit of self-sufficiency. Epicurus. 10 steps to launch. Number 1. Decide. Make the decision to do this. Decide for a product or service. Decide what social media you are going to focus on. Decide on your messaging and details. Number 2, connect. Connect with the people who are living the life you want, the people doing the work you want to do, the people creating what you want to create. I'm not saying that person exists because there is only one you, and you have the unique dream inside of you to manifest. However, connecting with these people is a step in the right direction, and you never know where their insights will take you next. Number 3, gain authority. Get certified in something relevant and share the journey on social media. If you're already certified or getting certification is unnecessary, you can gain authority as a professional in other ways too. Creating a vlog, publishing, speaking as a guest, or even traveling to places relevant to the people you are helping. Number 4, mindset. This brings me to mindset, the key that opens the door to success. For this key, I'm just going to refer you to Napoleon Hill, who wrote 2 amazing books, Think and Grow Rich and Outwitting the Devil, and my coach, Xander Fryer. Number 5, messy action. Being a highly driven person, I have no problem taking action. However, I am also a people pleaser and I would hold myself back. It was a consistent battle for so long as I would get stuck in perfection paralysis. What's important to remember is we are all humans, and with everything so automated today, people are seeking an authentic connection. Owning your own flaws and failures, as well as your success, is, in all reality, what authenticity is about. Number 6, track the data. Taking action is so important because you can immediately start collecting data. Some examples would be, how many hours are you working? How much money are you earning? How many people do you talk to? How many people are you reaching out to? Who are they? What did you connect on? How many followers are you gaining? Why are they following? What's your top post? Number 7, progress. Enjoy the progress and believe you will progress more and more each day. This is actually how some of the best mantras begin. Just for today. The truth is, you're only a beginner once, and as long as you take consistent action, you will progress naturally. So just do the work and enjoy the ride. Number 8, optimize. Once you have some data and once you are seeing progress, it's time to optimize. Optimize on the data you've collected by implementing necessary changes. If you don't know what to change, get curious, ask questions, meditate, discuss, and seek an authentic answer that is true to you. The goal here is to take what is working and build on it. The challenge is releasing what's not working and believing that when it is meant to be, it will manifest organically. Number 9, collaborate. I have coached over 50 female founders outside of my private coaching practice and even wrote some pieces around collaboration over completion. The bottom line is, we are all in this together, and by working together, we can turn a ripple effect into a wave, and a wave into a tsunami. If this doesn't show you the big picture, think about your competitor making all the mistakes first, so you don't have to. Think about speaking to your competitor's following, and just for a moment, consider there is someone else out there who cares as much as you do, because it's true. Number 10, do your happy dance. Celebrate yourself, how far you have come, what you have created. Something we personally do in our own home is track our non-negotiables on a point system so we can feel our achievements whenever we hit 50 points. This also allows us to build even more momentum through positive reinforcement. Chapter 7, Elder Years, Manifesting Money. Psychedelics have been helping humans optimize and evolve since at least 5000 BCE, yet people are just now coming out of the psychedelic closet to join the re-evolution. The truth is, your stance on psychedelics is an economical stance, political stance, for some, even a religious stance. I will go as far as to say psychedelics are my religious and political stance. 3 elemental tips for wealth and legacy. 1. Have appreciation and gratitude for all. If it's hard, do your best anyway. 2. If you don't like something, delete it, delegate it, or learn to love it. 3. Know where you come from. Timeline your life. Know your story. Know your money story. The truth is, we need more people like you, making money, impact, and creating a ripple effect of health and happiness around the world. There is literally no excuse to hold yourself back. Integration. The after effects of a trip can last for weeks or even months. Sometimes people have revelations about certain aspects of their lives that they wish to change. An integration specialist can be helpful in making sense of any visions, thoughts, or feelings that stand out to you. By examining these peak moments, you can learn how to bring these realizations into your day-to-day life. Having a professional therapist can help individuals work through emotional issues or trauma that arise during their experience and can help ensure the physical safety of the person undergoing the experience. An integration coach, like me, can additionally help in examining visual, physical, or psychological experiences you gain for insight from the trip. A coach can help with setting goals and integrating a psychedelic experience for lasting, positive change. They can guide you in how to live with your new understanding of yourself or others, track your progress when moving towards goals, and become accountable for making lasting changes. Integration circles are groups where people can gather to discuss their psychedelic journeys and integrate them into everyday life. They may be run by a professional therapist or a person with significant psychedelic experience. When setting intentions for future experiences, the rule of thumb is the more profound the experience, the longer you should wait before doing it again. A comfortable time frame for most individuals is at least 6 months. It takes at least this long to integrate the learning and insights into your life. Psychedelics can provide deep insights into yourself as an individual and how you interact with the world, but using them in a way that reduces harm and enhances benefits requires courage, an open mind, and a good attitude. More than any other discipline, fasting reveals the things that control us. Lynn M. Babb. Ultimate Fasting Guide for Psychonauts. While I am certified in nutrition, these next pages are more about fasting for spiritual benefit than physical body benefits, specifically for those of you practicing with psychedelics. Traditional fasting is the act of abstaining from all food and drink, with the exception of water, for a period of time. In our modern age, there are many types of fasting, and they are frequently used for religious, spiritual, and health purposes. Although complete fasting eliminates all food and drink, there are also a variety of fasts that limit certain food groups or only allow specific beverages or liquids. You can also fast from non-nutritive things like technology or certain behavioral habits. Fasts can last from hours to weeks depending on the purpose. Fasting is voluntarily abstaining from something for a limited amount of time. It's not fasting if you plan on giving up the thing for good, though at the end of a fast you may decide not to reincorporate it back into your life. Fasting prior to a psychedelic ceremony is recommended in most native cultures that work with medicines. It is common before and after Kambo treatments, ayahuasca rituals, peyote ceremonies, and mushroom gatherings. Some even prolong the fast for days after the experience, which is said to help integrate the insights. From my experience, fasting is useful for two things: aiding the absorption of the psychedelic, quicker absorption, quicker onset, and slightly higher intensity. Although it helps you be more conscious and present, so you're not as likely to be consumed by unconscious patterns. On the nutrition side of things, fasting helps create a clean experience. When you go into ceremony with a clean vessel, you are more likely to go on a visionary journey because your body, mind, and soul can focus on fulfilling your intentions. 10 common motivations for fasting include 1. Weight loss. 2. Disease, dis-ease in body. 3. Mourning, grief. 4. Seeking redemption. 5. Renewal of faith. 6. Seeking a sense of purpose or direction. 7. Struggling with a major life choice. 8. Overcoming addiction or a crisis. 9. Holistic health and wellness treatment. 10. Gut health. It's not necessary to fast or have a special diet for long before a psychedelic experience, but even 4 hours can make a difference. Inner World Fast. The Inner World Fast is probably the deepest and most important one. This is the place where we have some limiting beliefs. Maybe something embarrassed you as a child and is now holding you back. Maybe you experience an addiction passed down in your genes, or you have some fears holding you back. Some of the things we want to fast from our inner worlds may include negative thoughts, unconscious affirmations, limiting beliefs, values and judgments that don't align with our soul, and barriers of any kind. Some steps you can take during your fast include reading inspirational stories, meditating, sleep schedule, explore your spirituality, Seek out moments of peace and solitude, or spend some time in nature. Don't be afraid to write down or journal your goals, thoughts, and feelings. Outer world fast. An outer world fast is what I call it when I am helping my clients break habits that are holding them back, making them sick, stressed out, and tired. For this fast, you simply pick one habit. It can be your relationship with food, smoking, coffee, social media, or something else that is significant to you at the time. You then set a timeline. You can do intermittent fasting with this too. For example, if you are spending too much time on your cell phone, you can start turning it off at night. Choose a specific time, 7 p.m., or tell yourself that you won't even turn on your phone until 10 a.m. The discipline of fasting dates to ancient times. Fasting is common to nearly every religion in the world, as well as philosophy and nutrition. Did you know fasting is mentioned in the Bible more times than baptism? Fasting is one of those things that brings us together globally. It is the most concrete and viscerally embodied of the spiritual disciplines, and it may be one of those things that produces effects that bridge the gap between body and soul. In recent times, fasting has become popular for its health benefits, but when also practiced as a spiritual discipline, it can unlock far more possibilities than science could possibly document. Before you go off planning your fast, remember that billions of people do this all the time. If you're new to fasting, it can feel like a big and nearly impossible challenge, but you can do this. To simplify, some elemental tips for you. 1. Plan ahead. Date, length. 2. Stay hydrated with water. 3. Journal it out and repeat. Working with the moon phases makes this process even more simple. Magical moon. Looking for a bit more magic and a much deeper connection by following the moon phases and setting personalized intention, it will be easier for you to connect with the rhythms of Mother Nature. Over time, this ritual will become part of the rhythm of your own life, harmonizing you with your environment and manifesting serendipity. In my book, Be the Change, I go much deeper into the moon cycles and how all of nature's cyclical cycles help in personal development and integration. For example, the moon has a huge stabilizing effect on Earth's tilt, reminding us the key here is always to keep a healthy balance, knowing when to hold on to your powers and when to release them to the universe. The cycles help you achieve this balance naturally. For many people around the world, nature's cyclical cycles, like the moon cycles, are seen as magical. In some traditions, it's believed the new moon, waxing moon, full moon, and waning moon are all harness their own special magical properties. As a Native American woman obsessed with personal development, I naturally began planning my psychedelic ceremonies accordingly. The moon's lunar phases play a very large role in mushroom flushes, a period of time when large numbers of mushrooms appear all at once. According to Lineage, or those who work with mushrooms, you'll find more mushrooms during the full moon than any other time, except maybe lightning storms. I have heard that too. The ancients considered mushrooms to be under the dominion of the moon, and most influenced by it above all other growing things on earth. The ancients also believed in the doctrine of signatures, which is a subject I adore and continue to study. While mushrooms are no doubt influenced by the moon, individual species respond in different ways, some flushing spores at the full moon, others at a new, and some mushroom species even appear flushing in the third or first quarters. Self-sustainability. Consider the 6 essential categories of sufficient living: water, shelter, food, energy, including transportation, finances and community, including entertainment. Based on your situation, choose your categories where you will enjoy to focus your passions, unique skills, and finances. Where can you grow your own food? Can you treat your kitchen like a restaurant and shop consciously? Notice how the quality of your food and life is improved imagining these questions. Reclaim your freedom by honoring the 3 Ds: delete it, delegate it, or do it, and make eco-thrifty purchases when necessary. There are smaller and simpler steps to start out with when moving towards self-sufficient living. Some examples include buying cast iron cookware that will last you a lifetime, buying clothing at a thrift store to reduce consumption and transportation costs, composting, home birthing, homeschooling, and home cooking. Self-reliance is not about going at it alone. Your community is instrumental for your transition. By reaching out, you may discover mentors, guidance, and wisdom around you. Not every person will applaud or even support your path you've chosen, including your immediate family. Having your community's guidance will encourage you to forge your own path anyway and live out to the richness of your sustainability goals. Encourage collaboration for innovative solutions. There is no definitive guide on how to become self-reliant. It's more important that you change the way you look at your actions, material and emotional dependency, and seek alternatives in each area you think you can use a little help along your way to self-sufficiency. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. Dr. Seuss, The Lorax. Sharing your wisdom. The body is also a biocomputer that knows when to go to sleep, when to wake up, and when to go to the bathroom. Our body maintains the temperature of 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, repairs itself when wounded, and breaks down food into usable energy and nutrients. Our heart never misses a beat, and our lungs never miss a breath. Our body is consistently processing information and monitoring our environments to make necessary adjustments so we can keep balanced homeostasis. Biohacking is all about self-improvement and human optimization. As Tony Robbins explains it, biohacking is essentially the practice of changing our chemistry and our physiology through science and self-experimentation to energize and enhance the body. Now, I don't know if Tony practices with entheogens, but I know they helped me by biohacking a more focused and enjoyable practice. My excitement for biohacking began my alchemy to testing every seed from my local grocery store bulk bin to see if it would grow into new life. That's how I further got into educating myself about anti-fluoride, non-GMO foods, healthy solutions, growing food with permaculture design, eating with intention, and furthering my education with integrative nutrition. Mushrooms introduced me, and ultimately the reason I became obsessed with Joe Rogan, Duncan Trussell, and the McKenna brothers. Mushrooms supported my sacred journey to sobriety, backpacking 3 countries in South America with no map or clue what I was doing, and mushrooms helped me clear out my CPTSD so I could refill my life with laughter, good times, new memories, and show up as the best me for my son. Affirmations. Affirmations are biohacking reminders to your unconscious mind to come to presence with repetition. Saying them aloud helps you focus on your goals and to come up with solutions to challenges and obstacles that might get in the way. They are ancient practice used all over the world by people who speak to a higher spirit. In yoga, mantras are medicine for the soul. Yogis suggest that when we select a word or series of words to repeat in the form of a mantra, we are affirming what we are saying to ourselves and allowing meaning to seep below the conscious surface into our subconscious, helping to shift our negative habits and patterns into positive ones. 5 tips to develop and use affirmations or mantras. 1. Make a list of what you've always thought of as your negative qualities or thoughts. I am broke, it's hard to lose weight, I am never going to meet somebody I can love, or I never catch a break. Identify where they stem from and release it. It will not serve you. Your personal release ritual may vary. However, some great examples include burning the list you wrote, rewriting each ant as an affirmation, or transmuting the negative energy into art. 2. Begin listening to your own affirmation soundtrack or purchase some that resonate with you. Do this until you have the habit of listening down and you feel comfortable with the changes you are experiencing while saying your affirmations. When writing your affirmations, include your horoscope, personality tests, virtues you admire, desires and goals you wish to attain. Also write I am statements, which describe your affirmations in their already completed state. 3. Write, evaluate, and rewrite affirmations on a regular basis, weekly, monthly, seasonally, and speak them daily. You may feel huge resistance as you do it. Maybe you won't even believe a thing. Feel discouraged, think it's weird, but do it. Speak them in the mirror as part of your teeth brushing ceremony, and then again before bed in the form of a gratitude. The more you reinforce your affirmations, the more efficient you will become at planting seeds of positivity. 4. Experiment with Sanskrit words of empowerment. Sanskrit is considered by some linguists to be the perfect language, as its correct pronunciation evokes a unique vibration in the universe, placing into motion whatever you are trying to manifest through your mantra. Chanting the sound of Om brings us into harmonic resonance with the universe. Om is said to vibrate at 432 Hz, which is the natural musical pitch of the universe, as opposed to 440 Hz, which is the frequency of most modern music. 5. Take action and occupy yourself with activities that will increase your happiness or enhance your life, such as cooking nutritious meals, exercising, learning a new skill, or reading. Thoughts change as you reprogram your mind and you move from the concept of the affirmation to a real and positive embodiment of what you seek. The best times for affirmations are early morning and right before bed, because these times are when you're most susceptible to auto-suggestions. Your self-talk is programming you for your statements to be true. Pay attention to your thoughts so that you can begin to eliminate the ones that no longer serve you, that may have never served you. To see the magic unfold, make sure to take time every day to repeat your affirmations, preferably out loud with high energy and enthusiasm. Affirmations are like seeds planted in soil, poor growth. Rich soil, abundant growth. The more you choose to think thoughts that make you feel good, the quicker the affirmations work. The universe can only provide you what you are capable of, and if you have big dreams, it's in you to accomplish whatever you want in life. Chapter 7. Sacred Art of Alchemy. Elemental Herbalism. For any ill, there is a plant available that will help you restore balance to your body, mind, and spirit. There is a story behind every plant, a story they want to tell. It's up to you to reconnect and tell it. As a species, we are out of our natural rhythm. Indigenous people had flow, but our world today is overstimulating and artificial. Check in with yourself. What is the status of bacteria in and on you? How diverse is your diet? We can always turn to Mama Nature for help. Before we get into these elemental growth favorite hippie herbs, it's important to point out, organically grown, food-grade herbs are the best choice. If possible, grow them yourself in natural soil. Even potting soils have chemicals and synthetic fertilizers added. Doing your research, reading soil and seed labels, and obtaining the supplies you need to do it yourself, DIY, will enhance your plant's flavors, effect, and aroma without compromising taste and benefits with dangerous unwanted chemicals and toxins. The fastest way to get healthier is to find the healthiest person you know and spend as much time as you can with them. I know because it's how I continue to get healthier, happier, and wealthier naturally, following my own advice. Elemental growth herbal favorites. 1. Adaptogens. Plants that help the body balance hormones and build resistance to physical, chemical, and biological stress. These plants have been used for centuries in Chinese and Ayurvedic healing traditions. They include ashwagandha, tulsi, ginseng, astragalus, cordyceps, goji berry, and turmeric. Number 2. Brain pain meds. There are too many to list them all, but these plants make amazing natural alternatives to depression medication and addictive pain relievers. Skullcap for anxiety, kava for painkiller, vervain for stress, chamomile for sleep, cayenne for energy, lemon balm for happiness, St. John's wort for depression, vanilla for memory, feverfew for headaches, and willow for inflammation. Number 3. Heart herbs. Rose is an herb of love for a good reason. It's calming, soothing, is a beauty enhancer, and opens our heart chakra so we may forgive more easily. In addition, hawthorn is a good one to maintain heart function in those who are aging. Motherwort is used to balance blood pressure. Linden is another one of those gentle and love-bearing flowers. Number 4. Beauty alternatives. Getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep each night and staying hydrated are both super important. Number 5. Psychedelic therapies. Yerba mate for energy, cacao for brain-boosting properties, cannabis for mood, food, and sleep, jungle tobacco for spiritual well-being, coca for stomach issues, San Pedro to understand the world, ayahuasca to understand the heavens, and psilocybin to connect with collective consciousness. 30 awesome hippie herbs and their benefits. Anise, known to heal inflammation, fungal infections, depression, flatulence, menopause, and even congestion. Note, use sparingly, no more than 5% of your smoking blend. Ashwagandha, a proven adaptogen that helps your body adapt properly to stress. Known anti-anxiety medication, antidepressant, and mood stabilizer. Ashwagandha is used to promote focus and concentration as well as to provide a natural boost of energy. Blue lotus, popularly used by the ancient Egyptians thousands of years ago, used commonly during recreation and religious events. For more than 3,000 years, the blue lotus flower has been used to induce higher states of consciousness, states of sedation, and extreme relaxation. Kalia Zakatekachi, also known as the dream herb or leaf of God, is a legal psychoactive plant used in shamanic rituals to predict future events. Kalea deepens and enhances the user's dreams. California poppy, commonly used when treating anxiety issues, insomnia, incontinence, and nervous tension, reduces the effects of ADD and ADHD and increases mental capacity and memory concentration. Catnip. Catnip was once used in place of cannabis or as a filler in weed since it produced similar effects, like making you feel happy and slightly buzzed. Chamomile, a powerful antidepressant, and can help manage the withdrawal symptoms among smokers very effectively, and thereby preventing relapses. Clove can reduce the cravings of even long-time smokers for nicotine. It could replace the habit while taking away tobacco's addictive substance, nicotine. Coltsfoot, an expectorant, helping to free phlegm from the lungs. The herb contains mucilage, tannins, and bitter glycosides, which give the herb its anti-inflammatory and anti-coughing properties. Damiana leaf, a good tobacco replacement, and is often used as a legal substitute for cannabis. Used by the Aztec for treating impotence. Smoke these fragrant leaves when making love. Green tea. Green tea contains L-theanine, an amino acid. Studies show this compound has anxiety-lowering effects by interacting with neurotransmitter receptors. Gotu kola is used to improve memory, relieve tension, enhance blood flow, reduce inflammation, and strengthen the liver. Gotu kola is used as a tonic to stay healthy and aid concentration. Hops, a mild sedative with calming effect used as a principal ingredient in many muscle relaxants and tonics. Kratom, proved to be an efficient solution for individuals who suffer from anxiety, stress, depression, and other sorts of mood disorders. The plant has been found to act as a natural confidence booster. Lavender has an incredible flavor while allowing users to feel its therapeutic qualities. Mugwort. Many ancient cultures smoked mugwort to provide vivid dreams. It also produces a very mild psychotropic effect when you're awake. Dried mugwort plants gives its users colorful dreams and helps with memory. Magical marijuana. Since cannabis research has made headlines in the field of medicine and wellness, it has become more accepted around the world. The World Drug Report from 2019 states that there are over 200 million cannabis smokers around the world. From vaping to concentrates, people are finding out for themselves just how miraculous this plant is. Yes, cannabis is one awesome hippie herb for anyone into health, wellness, or getting high, but did you know that by blending your cannabis with other herbs, you can receive additional benefits? It's true. Most of the herbs I have listed here have been smoked for thousands of years before tobacco was industrialized. These same herbs are a fun and enjoyable way to help even the hardcore chain smokers quit the toxic cigarettes. Plants are so magical, and mixing herbs together can not only enhance the flavor of your cannabis, it can also complement its other effects, enhance your creativity, buzz, and self-care. Mullein helps to promote feelings of calmness, treats anxiety, and can be very relaxing. Mullein is added to smoking blends to reduce harshness and soothe the throat. Some claim mullein cleanses the lungs and can activate lymph circulation in the chest and the neck, naturally reducing phlegm and opening airways. Passion flower, customarily used as a soothing herb for hysteria, anxiety, seizures, and insomnia. Smoking passion flower is a common practice in regions. The dried aerial parts of the flower can be smoked as an aid to help people stop smoking cigarettes. Peppermint. Smoking peppermint clears the lungs and respiratory passages and can make breathing easier. Smoking magic mint, a slang name for Salvia divinorum, can cause hallucinations. Mint herbs like peppermint, spearmint, and wintergreen do not have psychoactive properties. Red raspberry leaf has a pleasant fruity taste. It can be smoked either alone or as part of a blend to help soothe sore muscles and promote relaxation. Rose. Recently, the rose petal has become the next big trend in the world of weed. It is used spiritually to open the heart chakra. Rosemary, associated with improved cognition and memory due to the active constituents found within the plant. The herb may also assist with inflammation and immune system function. Sage, primarily to impart flavor to smoking blends. Indigenous peoples believe that sage clears out spiritual impurities, pathogens, and even insects. Adding a bit of dried sage to your cannabis can boost your mood, banish negativity, and create an uplifting fragrance. Skullcap. An effective medicinal herb helps in relieving symptoms of many diseases like insomnia, hysteria, delirium tremens, and anxiety. It is rich in vitamins and is used as a central nervous system booster, also effective in managing headaches and restlessness. Tobacco. A commonly used indigenous tobacco is one of the 4 sacred plants. It represents the mind. The Anishinaabe say it opens the door to the Creator. Tobacco is one of the most sacred plants for Native people. Wild lettuce. Wild lettuce helps with diverse pain types like menstrual pain, joint pain, muscle pain, headache, migraine, and stress-related pain. Note, not suitable if user has narrow-angle glaucoma. It can make it worse. In some cases, wild lettuce can also induce a toxic effect. Wild oat. A popular traditional herbal medicine that is widely used in providing relief from liver and kidney conditions and joint pain. It also relieves depression and is a natural tonic used to improve strength and vitality in both men and women. Wild oat is also used to reduce mental tension and anxiety. It is a powerful antioxidant and slows down the aging process. Wormwood. Remedy for headache, dysentery, common colds, or mild rheumatism. Widely used as the main ingredient in absinthe. Willow bark. Native Americans often smoke willow bark during ceremony to show respect and give spiritual protection. When shared with close friends and family, it can promote kinship. Mark Twain smoked willow bark with his tobacco. Yarrow. Can reduce high body temperatures and fever. It is commonly used as a stimulant for appetite or as a tobacco substitute. Smoking herbs for health, while beneficial, will never compare to the benefits of proper nutrition and exercise. Breathing any smoke into your lungs can be irritating. This is true because you are burning and breathing in carbon, paper, lighter fluid. The dangers include increased risk of lung cancer and heart disease, among others. Pregnant or breastfeeding women should avoid smoking completely. Consult a medical doctor if you have any pre-existing lung issues or are on any medication. Chapter 7. Sacred Art of Alchemy. Elemental Herbalism. For any ill, there is a plant available that will help you restore balance to your body, mind, and spirit. There is a story behind every plant, a story they want to tell. It's up to you to reconnect and tell it. As a species, we are out of our natural rhythm. Indigenous people had flow, but our world today is overstimulating and artificial. Check in with yourself. What is the status of bacteria in and on you? How diverse is your diet? We can always turn to Mama Nature for help. Before we get into these elemental growth favorite hippie herbs, it's important to point out, organically grown, food-grade herbs are the best choice. If possible, grow them yourself in natural soil. Even potting soils have chemicals and synthetic fertilizers added. Doing your research, reading soil and seed labels, and obtaining the supplies you need to do it yourself, DIY, will enhance your plant's flavors, effect, and aroma without compromising taste and benefits with dangerous unwanted chemicals and toxins. The fastest way to get healthier is to find the healthiest person you know and spend as much time as you can with them. I know because it's how I continue to get healthier, happier, and wealthier naturally, following my own advice. Elemental growth herbal favorites. 1. Adaptogens. Plants that help the body balance hormones and build resistance to physical, chemical, and biological stress. These plants have been used for centuries in Chinese and Ayurvedic healing traditions. They include ashwagandha, tulsi, ginseng, astragalus, cordyceps, goji berry, and turmeric. Number 2, brain pain meds. There are too many to list them all, but these plants make amazing natural alternatives to depression medication and addictive pain relievers. Skullcap for anxiety, kava for painkiller, vervain for stress, chamomile for sleep, cayenne for energy, lemon balm for happiness, St. John's wort for depression, vanilla for memory, feverfew for headaches, and willow for inflammation. Number 3, heart herbs. Rose is an herb of love for a good reason. It's calming, soothing, is a beauty enhancer, and opens our heart chakra so we may forgive more easily. In addition, hawthorn is a good one to maintain heart function in those who are aging. Motherwort is used to balance blood pressure. Linden is another one of those gentle and love-bearing flowers. Number 4, beauty alternatives. Getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep each night and staying hydrated are both super important. Number 5, psychedelic therapies. Yerba mate for energy, cacao for brain-boosting properties, cannabis for mood, food, and sleep, jungle tobacco for spiritual well-being, coca for stomach issues, San Pedro to understand the world, ayahuasca to understand the heavens, and psilocybin to connect with collective consciousness. 30 awesome hippie herbs and their benefits. Anise, known to heal inflammation, fungal infections, depression, flatulence, menopause, and even congestion. Note, use sparingly, no more than 5% of your smoking blend. Ashwagandha, a proven adaptogen that helps your body adapt properly to stress. Known anti-anxiety medication, antidepressant, and mood stabilizer. Ashwagandha is used to promote focus and concentration as well as to provide a natural boost of energy. Blue lotus, popularly used by the ancient Egyptians thousands of years ago, used commonly during recreation and religious events. For more than 3,000 years, the blue lotus flower has been used to induce higher states of consciousness, states of sedation, and extreme relaxation. Kalia Zakatekachi, also known as the dream herb or leaf of God, is a legal psychoactive plant used in shamanic rituals to predict future events. Kalea deepens and enhances the user's dreams. California poppy, commonly used when treating anxiety issues, insomnia, incontinence, and nervous tension. Reduces the effects of ADD and ADHD and increases mental capacity and memory concentration. Catnip. Catnip was once used in place of cannabis or as a filler in weed since it produced similar effects like making you feel happy and slightly buzzed. Chamomile, a powerful antidepressant, and can help manage the withdrawal symptoms among smokers very effectively, and thereby preventing relapses. Clove can reduce the cravings of even long-time smokers for nicotine. It could replace the habit while taking away tobacco's addictive substance, nicotine. Coltsfoot, an expectorant, helping to free phlegm from the lungs. The herb contains mucilage, tannins, and bitter glycosides, which give the herb its anti-inflammatory and anti-coughing properties. Damiana leaf, a good tobacco replacement and is often used as a legal substitute for cannabis. Used by the Aztec for treating impotence. Smoke these fragrant leaves when making love. Green tea. Green tea contains L-theanine, an amino acid. Studies show this compound has anxiety-lowering effects by interacting with neurotransmitters receptors. Gotu kola is used to improve memory, relieve tension, enhance blood flow, reduce inflammation, and strengthen the liver. Gotu kola is used as a tonic to stay healthy and aid concentration. Hops, a mild sedative with calming effect used as a principal ingredient in many muscle relaxants and tonics. Kratom, proved to be an efficient solution for individuals who suffer from anxiety, stress, depression, and other sorts of mood disorders. The plant has been found to act as a natural confidence booster. Lavender has an incredible flavor while allowing users to feel its therapeutic qualities. Mugwort. Many ancient cultures smoked mugwort to provide vivid dreams. It also produces a very mild psychotropic effect when you're awake. Dried mugwort plants gives its users colorful dreams and helps with memory. Magical marijuana. Since cannabis research has made headlines in the field of medicine and wellness, it has become more accepted around the world. The World Drug Report from 2019 states that there are over 200 million cannabis smokers around the world, From vaping to concentrates, people are finding out for themselves just how miraculous this plant is. Yes, cannabis is one awesome hippie herb for anyone into health, wellness, or getting high, but did you know that by blending your cannabis with other herbs, you can receive additional benefits? It's true. Most of the herbs I have listed here have been smoked for thousands of years before tobacco was industrialized. These same herbs are a fun and enjoyable way to help even the hardcore chain smokers quit the toxic cigarettes. Plants are so magical, and mixing herbs together can not only enhance the flavor of your cannabis, it can also complement its other effects, enhance your creativity, buzz, and self-care. Mullein helps to promote feelings of calmness, treats anxiety, and can be very relaxing. Mullein is added to smoking blends to reduce harshness and soothe the throat. Some claim mullein cleanses the lungs and can activate lymph circulation in the chest and the neck, naturally reducing phlegm and opening airways. Passion flower, customarily used as a soothing herb for hysteria, anxiety, seizures, and insomnia. Smoking passion flower is a common practice in regions. The dried aerial parts of the flower can be smoked as an aid to help people stop smoking cigarettes. Peppermint. Smoking peppermint clears the lungs and respiratory passages and can make breathing easier. Smoking magic mint, a slang name for Salvia divinorum, can cause hallucinations. Mint herbs like peppermint, spearmint, and wintergreen do not have psychoactive properties. Red raspberry leaf has a pleasant fruity taste. It can be smoked either alone or as part of a blend to help soothe sore muscles and promote relaxation. Rose. Recently, the rose petal has become the next big trend in the world of weed. It is used spiritually to open the heart chakra. Rosemary, associated with improved cognition and memory due to the active constituents found within the plant. The herb may also assist with inflammation and immune system function. Sage, primarily to impart flavor to smoking blends. Indigenous peoples believe that sage clears out spiritual impurities, pathogens, and even insects. Adding a bit of dried sage to your cannabis can boost your mood, banish negativity, and create an uplifting fragrance. Skullcap. An effective medicinal herb helps in relieving symptoms of many diseases like insomnia, hysteria, delirium tremens, and anxiety. It is rich in vitamins and is used as a central nervous system booster, also effective in managing headaches and restlessness. Tobacco. A commonly used indigenous tobacco is one of the 4 sacred plants. It represents the mind. The Anishinaabe say it opens the door to the Creator. Tobacco is one of the most sacred plants for Native people. Wild lettuce. Wild lettuce helps with diverse pain types like menstrual pain, joint pain, muscle pain, headache, migraine, and stress-related pain. Note, not suitable if user has narrow-angle glaucoma. It can make it worse. In some cases, wild lettuce can also induce a toxic effect. Wild oat. A popular traditional herbal medicine that is widely used in providing relief from liver and kidney conditions and joint pain. It also relieves depression and is a natural tonic used to improve strength and vitality in both men and women. Wild oat is also used to reduce mental tension and anxiety. It is a powerful antioxidant and slows down the aging process. Wormwood. Remedy for headache, dysentery, common colds, or mild rheumatism. Widely used as the main ingredient in absinthe. Willow bark. Native Americans often smoke willow bark during ceremony to show respect and give spiritual protection. When shared with close friends and family, it can promote kinship. Mark Twain smoked willow bark with his tobacco. Yarrow. Can reduce high body temperatures and fever. It is commonly used as a stimulant for appetite or as a tobacco substitute. Smoking herbs for health, while beneficial, will never compare to the benefits of proper nutrition and exercise. Breathing any smoke into your lungs can be irritating. This is true because you are burning and breathing in carbon, paper, lighter fluid. The dangers include increased risk of lung cancer and heart disease, among others. Pregnant or breastfeeding women should avoid smoking completely. Consult a medical doctor if you have any pre-existing lung issues or are on any medication. Spirit animals. Druidry 101. Frog Oracle. After pulling the Frog Oracle card, I began working with a coach who, by way of synchronicity, helped me with some emotional healing. I started telling him all about the frog oracle and explained how I thought he was like the frog bringing me the medicine I needed to heal the pain of my past. He blessed me and recommended that I research ceremonial Kambo. During my research, I received an email from Amazon Rainforest Conservancy, ARC, the charity I sponsor. I saw this as an opportunity to learn more and emailed the Conservancy's president back some questions I had about Kambo medicine. We wrote back and forth for a while about the medicine, contemplating the ethical arguments, our fears, and ways we were called to use this medicine. And then we came across a practitioner, Raven, a practicing herbalist for women's hormone health. Yes, another synchronicity. Raven is exactly who we wanted to work with. This proved to me that my aligning with nature provides me a better chance to be in the right place at the right time, all the time. Now, magically, seamlessly, my new relationships brought planning to receive 3 Kambo treatments in the Colorado mountains. Also exciting is the hybrid rental and ranch we found on Airbnb. We were learning about ourselves and how this medicine works. As all of our choices were aligning our missions, everything we needed was manifesting easily. My friend Juliana went first. Raven smudged her, set up a sacred area, and purge bucket. When Raven burned her arm to open the gates for Kambo, I felt alarmed by how many dots were required for this initiation. Juliana, however, handled it very well, so I hummed along with Raven's music and sent loving intentions to my friend. When my turn came, my biggest fears were screaming. Still, I asked Kambo to be gentle with me, thanked my body for all its functions, and stayed present as the medicine worked through my entire body, starting with my hands, torso, head, toes. The first Kambo session was clearing years of toxins built up in my body. The second session goes a bit deeper, working on a physical, mental, and emotional buildup. Life got deeper the third session when Kambo began clearing spiritual and ancestral illnesses. Starting a 3-day initiation. Raven explains it like cleaning a floor. Day 1, you pick up the clutter. Day 2, you sweep. Day 3, you mop up all that remains. Now you can start fresh. Reflecting on my sweep day, I was able to surrender, breaking through clenching fears from the first day. Ceremony had lasted about 1 hour, 20 of that on the toilet. Afterwards, I was refreshed as ever, and Jana and I headed out to hike Three Sisters Peak. We met some fellow travelers who offered us some hippie herb, cannabis, for our hike. When I smoked a little smoke, I felt the medicine flow through me, reminding me that I am still in ceremony and the Kambo spirit is still strong within me. I truly looked forward to a proper initiation next. We woke up in the ranch to the morning sunrise and breathed in fresh air. As the sun was peeking over the mountaintop, our preparation for Kambo Cleanse number 3 began. We were looking forward to this dose because we had time to contemplate and integrate our experience so far. We were also experiencing our 3 sessions within a moon cycle, following a tradition among practitioners. I felt much appreciation for just how powerful this medicine is when day 3 of our Kambo Cleanse came to fruition. It had been far from an easy experience. My life changed for the better during these 3 days. Now, every day, I continue to set intentions. I thank every organ and bless my body functioning. I am grateful. I ask Kambo to be gentle with me, and so it is. Kambo. Traditional ritual of Kambo used by shamans and practitioners uses the poison of the giant monkey frog to purify the body and treat various health conditions. Some believe that Kambo can treat Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, cancer, infertility, chronic pain, depression, anxiety, migraines, infections, and addiction. Kambo can purify the physical body of toxic substances, purify the mind and spirit of negative energy, bring luck, increase stamina, and cure physical ailments. None of which I knew of when I was called to use frog medicine. When I drew the frog, Lost Skin, oracle card this last summer, I learned that in Druidry, the frog governs sensitivity, medicine, hidden beauty, and power. Traditionally, the frog unites the elements of earth and water, bringing joy, delight, and healing. In frog singing and hopping, this totem is leading you to the secret spring from which you may be refreshed and renewed. Being a cold-blooded creature living half on land, half in the water, frog possesses an extremely sensitive skin, considered magical by shamans. A companion of the rain spirits, frog can help you develop your sensitivity to others, to healing and to sound through your skin, your physical body and aura, energy body. You will feel close to the goddess and close to both earth and water elements. Frog teaches us to look for beauty and magic behind appearances. As a master healer, Cambo, the Amazonian tree frog secretion will cleanse your body, all bodies, energy body, emotional body, and physical body, when used with loving intention, in 40 minutes or less. This sacred medicine is not a hallucinogen in that you will see things. From my personal experience, Cambo takes your cells for a ride while you remain conscious as the observer of the process of Cambo's healing work. Nothing is what it appears to be, and life is more fun than you ever imagined when you surrender and see the hidden aspects of nature, beauty, and power. All you have to remember is frog brings medicine, and medicine from frog brings healing. If you hear the frog call, I encourage you to listen. If you are called to work with this medicine, you will find below my 8-step guide to prepare yourself for a Cambo ceremony. Number 1, decide. Cambo is not an easy medicine. In fact, I can guarantee that you will release things you didn't even know you could. Emotionally, spiritually, and physically, Cambo will help you purge what shouldn't be there. If you've heard the call, done your research, and feel it's your time, you must fully commit to the process, because resistance will only make things worse. Number 2, plan. Finding the right practitioner for you is really important. You want to be able to relate to the person on some level, also to make sure that they are sourcing their medicine in a sustainable way. Anytime I have been called to work with this medicine, I have had to travel as well. This means planning transportation, accommodation, food, water, and companionship. Number 3, week before. Set an intention for your ceremony. Get really clear about why you want to work with Cambo. In addition, it's good to fast before many sacred ceremonies. This could be coffee, social media, alcohol, sugar, cannabis, or really anything that may be in the way of your personal growth. During this week, I also stay hydrated. I practice self-Reiki and affirmations like, I love my elimination organs. Cambo is healing my body now. I am ready to change. Number 4, night before. Pack comfy clothing, blankets, pillows, and a yoga mat. Prepare at least 2 liters of water and definitely make sure you fast. In this time, I also like to plan my itinerary for the days of ceremony. Food, nature, rest. Number 5, pre-ceremony. Before ceremony, you're going to want to pull your hair back and have a bucket close by. Make sure you also have a toilet close to where you are. It's super important to tell your body that this is what we have been preparing for, so your body knows what to do when the medicine is applied. Number 6, during ceremony, submit to Cambo, be present, and observe. There is not much more I can say. Humming does help break up some stagnant energy and any resistance, but this part is a very individual experience. Number 7, post-ceremony. Before flushing your purge, look at it. What do you see? Foamy white, yellow, black? It all has a meaning that could teach you something about yourself. Google it for yourself. After a quick cleanup, it's nice to just relax, eat something light if you can, and observe nature in some way. Number 8, integration. The integration process begins the moment Cambo touches your skin and can last a year or more. Music, meditation, and a clean diet are all tools you can use to enhance how this frog medicine works its magic. I also encourage you to keep a journal of sorts, or even just take notes on your calendar as you transform body, mind, spirit, soul. Spirit animals. Druidry 101. Frog Oracle. After pulling the Frog Oracle card, I began working with a coach, who, by way of synchronicity, helped me with some emotional healing. I started telling him all about the Frog Oracle and explained how I thought he was like the frog bringing me the medicine I needed to heal the pain of my past. He blessed me and recommended that I research ceremonial Cambo. During my research, I received an email from Amazon Rainforest Conservancy, ARC, the charity I sponsor. I saw this as an opportunity to learn more and emailed the Conservancy's president back some questions I had about Cambo medicine. We wrote back and forth for a while about the medicine, contemplating the ethical arguments, our fears, and ways we were called to use this medicine. And then we came across a practitioner, Raven, a practicing herbalist for women's hormone health. Yes, another synchronicity. Raven is exactly who we wanted to work with. This proved to me that my aligning with nature provides me a better chance to be in the right place at the right time all the time. Now, magically, seamlessly, my new relationships brought planning to receive 3 Kambo treatments in the Colorado mountains. Also exciting is the hybrid rental and ranch we found on Airbnb. We were learning about ourselves and how this medicine works. As all of our choices were aligning our missions, everything we needed was manifesting easily. My friend Jana went first. Raven smudged her, set up a sacred area, and purge bucket. When Raven burned her arm to open the gates for Kambo, I felt alarmed by how many dots were required for this initiation. Jana, however, handled it very well, so I hummed along with Raven's music and sent loving intentions to my friend. When my turn came, my biggest fears were screaming. Still, I asked Kambo to be gentle with me, thanked my body for all its functions, and stayed present as the medicine worked through my entire body, starting with my hands, torso, head, toes. The first Kambo session was clearing years of toxins built up in my body. The second session goes a bit deeper, working on a physical, mental, and emotional buildup. Life got deeper the third session when Kambo began clearing spiritual and ancestral illnesses. Starting a 3-day initiation. Raven explains it like cleaning a floor. Day 1, you pick up the clutter. Day 2, you sweep. Day 3, you mop up all that remains. Now you can start fresh. Reflecting on my sweep day, I was able to surrender, breaking through clenching fears from the first day. Ceremony had lasted about 1 hour, 20 of that on the toilet. Afterwards, I was refreshed as ever, and Jana and I headed out to hike Three Sisters Peak. We met some fellow travelers who offered us some hippie herb, cannabis, for our hike. When I smoked a little smoke, I felt the medicine flow through me, reminding me that I am still in ceremony and the Kambo spirit is still strong within me. I truly looked forward to a proper initiation next. We woke up in the ranch to the morning sunrise and breathed in fresh air. As the sun was peeking over the mountaintop, our preparation for Kambo Cleanse number 3 began. We were looking forward to this dose because we had time to contemplate and integrate our experience so far. We were also experiencing our 3 sessions within a moon cycle, following a tradition among practitioners. I felt much appreciation for just how powerful this medicine is when day 3 of our Kambo Cleanse came to fruition. It had been far from an easy experience. My life changed for the better during these 3 days. Now, every day, I continue to set intentions. I thank every organ and bless my body functioning. I am grateful. I ask Kambo to be gentle with me, and so it is. Kambo. Traditional ritual of Kambo used by shamans and practitioners uses the poison of the giant monkey frog to purify the body and treat various health conditions. Some believe that Kambo can treat Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, cancer, infertility, chronic pain, depression, anxiety, migraines, infections, and addiction. Kambo can purify the physical body of toxic substances, purify the mind and spirit of negative energy, bring luck, increase stamina, and cure physical ailments. None of which I knew of when I was called to use frog medicine. When I drew the frog, Loskin, oracle card this last summer, I learned that in Druidry, the frog governs sensitivity, medicine, hidden beauty, and power. Traditionally, the frog unites the elements of earth and water, bringing joy, delight, and healing. In frog singing and hopping, this totem is leading you to the secret spring from which you may be refreshed and renewed. Being a cold-blooded creature living half on land, half in the water, frog possesses an extremely sensitive skin, considered magical by shamans. A companion of the rain spirits, frog can help you develop your sensitivity to others, to healing and to sound through your skin, your physical body and aura, energy body. You will feel close to the goddess and close to both earth and water elements. Frog teaches us to look for beauty and magic behind appearances. As a master healer, Kambo, the Amazonian tree frog secretion will cleanse your body, all bodies, energy body, emotional body, and physical body, when used with loving intention, in 40 minutes or less. This sacred medicine is not a hallucinogen in that you will see things. From my personal experience, Kambo takes your cells for a ride while you remain conscious as the observer of the process of Kambo's healing work. Nothing is what it appears to be, and life is more fun than you ever imagined when you surrender and see the hidden aspects of nature, beauty, and power. All you have to remember is frog brings medicine, and medicine from frog brings healing. If you hear the frog call, I encourage you to listen. If you are called to work with this medicine, you will find below my 8-step guide to prepare yourself for a Kambo ceremony.
Number 1, decide. Kambo is not an easy medicine. In fact, I can guarantee that you will release things you didn't even know you could. Emotionally, spiritually, and physically, Kambo will help you purge what shouldn't be there. If you've heard the call, done your research, and feel it's your time, you must fully commit to the process, because resistance will only make things worse. Number 2, plan. Finding the right practitioner for you is really important. You want to be able to relate to the person on some level, also to make sure that they are sourcing their medicine in a sustainable way. Anytime I have been called to work with this medicine, I have had to travel as well. This means planning transportation, accommodation, food, water, and companionship. Number 3, week before. Set an intention for your ceremony. Get really clear about why you want to work with Kambo. In addition, it's good to fast before many sacred ceremonies. This could be coffee, social media, alcohol, sugar, cannabis, or really anything that may be in the way of your personal growth. During this week, I also stay hydrated. I practice self-Reiki and affirmations like, I love my elimination organs. Kambo is healing my body now. I am ready to change. Number 4, night before. Pack comfy clothing, blankets, pillows, and a yoga mat. Prepare at least 2 liters of water and definitely make sure you fast. In this time, I also like to plan my itinerary for the days of ceremony. Food, nature, rest. Number 5, pre-ceremony. Before ceremony, you're going to want to pull your hair back and have a bucket close by. Make sure you also have a toilet close to where you are. It's super important to tell your body that this is what we have been preparing for, so your body knows what to do when the medicine is applied. Number 6, during ceremony, submit to Kambo, be present, and observe. There is not much more I can say. Humming does help break up some stagnant energy and any resistance, but this part is a very individual experience. Number 7, post-ceremony. Before flushing your purge, look at it. What do you see? Foamy white, yellow, black? It all has a meaning that could teach you something about yourself. Google it for yourself. After a quick cleanup, it's nice to just relax, eat something light if you can, and observe nature in some way. Number 8, integration. The integration process begins the moment Kambo touches your skin and can last a year or more. Music, meditation, and a clean diet are all tools you can use to enhance how this frog medicine works its magic. I also encourage you to keep a journal of sorts, or even just take notes on your calendar as you transform body, mind, spirit, soul. Angel numbers, numerology 101. 808. I noticed the clock. It's 808. I've seen this 3 times in less than 24 hours. I look up its meaning. This angel number means the relationship you are heading towards is one that is destined to be. It is likely a highly spiritual connection that will bring great purpose and abundance with it. But we have to understand that it will require us to end a previous cycle. I see it. I feel it. There is an ending coming. This is what this fall season is all about. It's what I feel inside, what I see manifesting all around me. Cycles are ending, and I feel the grief. I know it's time to surrender. Surrender is a rebirth day. Day 6, 12 doses for Christmas. My 12-day holiday trip report, 2021. As I go deep into this rockscape of the Blue Mountain Cave, space becomes very small. I move my body down holes where light does not emit, although I emit my light, and I believe I can fit through. I wedge in crevices using my body to hold me and no equipment. I think I feel scared and laugh at the intensity. I think I feel too big and wonder, how will I fit through? I think I feel stuck and focus on my breath. I think I feel too weak, and yet I pull myself up onto the embankment where flows water. I purify my hands and fill them as a cup with this sacred cave water. I bless with gratitude as I drink. I watch as the ripples reflect the rock. I take in all I see and begin my ascent higher on the mountain. When I reach the canal, I come across challenge. I climb with little experience. I choose to climb myself instead of reaching for a hand, because I know even though someone is there, I can make it. When my crown emerges out from my darkness, I see a world of my light. I see sun and feel warmth. My new world smells like spring even though it is fall. My body emerges out of a hole the size of my head, and like my snake omen, I slither out. As I come to realization, I know my experience is a physical representation of, again, my rebirth. Resources. Contact me, Ashley, at elementalgrowth.org or www.elementalgrowth.org. Be the Change is your guide to elemental growth through nature, love, food, and movement. This is the only book available that uses nature to nurture the process of change, so you can step into your highest potential with ease. My plant-powered menu brings you over 40 new recipes for nurturing your body, mind, and spirit as you change with the seasons. These simple menus will turn your home cooking experience into a powerful expression of love, so you can build a high-energy body and cruise through life with the windows down and a smile on your face. Eating well is a form of self-respect. As the Amazon Rainforest Conservancy works to protect the Amazon rainforest, it's essential that we remember the potential cures within medicinal plants, nutrient-dense foods, and remedies that get to the roots of the problem. So far, we have found plants that can be used to cure AIDS, cancer, diabetes, arthritis, multiple sclerosis, and Alzheimer's. I imagine there will be much more information on this in the near future. Check out their website here, www.amazonrainforestconservancy.com.